Like, what are you talking about? Why are you, what is this conversation? And I had to explain to him, and I said, I think this is what's going to happen, Austin. I said, you honestly have to prepare for your life to become very chaotic and crazy. And lo and behold, he gets drafted in Toronto instead of, some different market. And we know how crazy it can be here.
Oh, yeah.
But, and then the last thing I'll say on it is I remember leading up to the draft, lots of people said, can he handle Toronto? And I thought, absolutely, no problem. And the biggest thing for me is when a young player comes in the league, and we talked about it earlier, if they're a -2 or 3 and they have a really tough night, you get to know how they're going to respond. And some that breaks their confidence, and maybe they need a stint in the AHL. You got to get them out of the pressure. But Austin was so good that if that happened, and when it's happened in his career, it doesn't hurt his confidence. He knows that he's in that category of player that I know I can redeem myself just get me to the next game now. And they can do, the best players can do that. And that's a different echelon of player at the NHL level that can do that. So if you look at the top players in the NHL, their confidence is not going to break. The guys right under that, they have a bad night. They may not want that next game.
SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio is the place for expert advice, strategy, and information from the best fantasy sports analysis to win your league. Plus, hear pick-by-pick coverage of live drafts and interviews with top players, coaches, and team executives on SiriusXM 87.
I'm Frank Track.
Canadiens hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back inside the Bell Center. Yes, we are gathered again on this Sunday, April 26th, for Game 4 of the first round between the Montreal Canadiens and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Victor Finley alongside John Goyens tonight. John, the crowd outside has been wild all day, and now as this place is sold out and ready to go again, it doesn't feel like there's going to be any drop-off from what this atmosphere was on Friday night.
No, even before the fans were allowed in the building, we could hear them. We could hear them from the concourse outside. It's pretty incredible. And right now, they're a little bit more subdued because it's like they're saving that energy for when the Bleu Blanc Rouge just jump out on that ice for that last lap before puck drop.
Now, John, I mentioned it in my intro there moments ago. It's been a game of inches all series long. Barely anything has separated these two teams. The deeper we go into this series, do you feel like there's more likely to be a moment in Game 4, 5, or beyond where one of these teams finally takes a stranglehold on the Game 5-on-5?
Well, I wonder if it's not just in the simplistic element and physical element of the forecheck. Well, Montreal's dumping in the puck at a very high rate. In Game 3, they dumped it in a little less, recovered the puck a lot more. Tampa dumps it a lot less, but recovers a lot more overall in percentages. So you wonder, is that going to be the defining moment? Because I expect Tampa to lay bodies early and often, especially in the first 10 minutes of Game 4.
So it's been obviously a very physical series. We maybe saw that take a bit of a back seat in Game 3, but we'll be ready for it again tonight as the Montreal Canadiens and Tampa Bay Lightning clash for Game number 4. It was Yvonne Cournoyer to get things started, carrying out the torch for Game 3, and tonight it is Serge Savard as we will hand it off to the crowd of 21,000 plus for pregame ceremonies tonight.
Le numéro 24, number 24, Philippe Dano. Le numéro 48, number 48, Lane Hudson. Le numéro 71, number 71, Jake Evans. Et le numéro 75, number 75, Jacob Domas.
There is Michel Lacroix with your starting lineup. He'll get you teed up here as well for the playing of the Canadian and American national anthems. Sunday night in Montreal. A weekend matchup, although at this time of year there's only either a game day or not a game day. And today happens to be game day number 4 of the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs between the Montreal Canadiens and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Starting netminders, same matchup as it's been all postseason long thus far. Vasilevsky through 3 games has a 2.76 goals against average and 880 save percentage. Dobis for Montreal, 2 wins in 3 games, the 2.45 goals against and an 892 save percentage. Stanley Cup playoffs. Canadiens in game 4, 18-32, not particularly a sparkling record, but all they need is 1 win tonight, John, to put a stranglehold 3-1 on this series.
Yeah, they just gotta encapsulate and find ways to get more guys going at 5-on-5. They've got 10 out of 12 forwards that have points, whereas Tampa only has 5 out of 12 forwards. Win the 5-on-5 game, go up 3-1.
I'm starting out with it off the opening face-off, moving from right to left. Anderson, Deneau, and Jake Evans get the start tonight. No lineup changes for Montreal. Pair of substitutes on the Tampa side as Cheranak moves it in behind his own net. First hit of the game is Anderson on Cheranak. As Tampa Bay settle it down with Ryan McDonough, who's playing his 200th career Stanley Cup playoff game tonight. As we get our first stoppage as the puck is played out to the Montreal bench. John, Declan Carlisle is out. Max Crozier is in for Tampa Bay. And perhaps more notably, we will see Oliver Bjorkstrand for the first time in this series as Scott Sabourin sits out up front.
Yeah, they like I mentioned, they got 5 forwards that have at least a point in this series. Bjorkstrand was a guy that they picked up this year, had a disappointing season. They need others to just contribute. It's been too much of a heavy-handed job for the top guys.
Canadiens control at center. Here's Matheson flipping it in. Doc on the ice with Bolduc and Texier. That line was fantastic in game number 3. As the Canadiens go all the way back into their own zone. Kucherov into the forward. Shack forced the turnover out in front. He got a feed from Hagel and poked the puck just wide. Now Radish from the line. Zings a wrister off the mark. As Matheson plays it all the way around the boards back to center. Radish on it. To the neutral zone. Doc takes it away from Hagel. And here goes Zach Bolduc moving in. Back to the line. Texier had that knocked away out to center. And Caden Goulet goes all the way back to grab it for Montreal. Now here's Lane Hudson. To center for Nick Suzuki. Crossing into Tampa territory. Suzuki tried to drop it off. It goes off his stick and between the 2 defenders all the way back for Jakub Dobis. Hudson on it. He'll zip it around the boards all the way to center. Suzuki has Caulfield with him to the front of the net, and that's just out of the reach of Caulfield, who took a swipe at it. Unable to touch that puck, though, as McDonough plays it right back in the other way. Sorelli tied up with Caulfield far side. Here goes Suzuki to center, right in on McDonough. Yeah, tried to get a poke on that, but Vasilevsky got his stick there. It ends up behind the Lightning net as they battle for it. 2 minutes into the first, we're going to get a stoppage here. A whistle behind the play.
Too many men.
And it's going to be against Montreal, I believe, John.
For too many men on the ice.
So Wes McCauley with the call from center ice, and suboptimal start here for the Canadiens, going shorthanded just over 2 minutes in.
And that's how loud the building is. And obviously some guys got their signals crossed there and they end up on the forecheck, but they end up with too many men. And unfortunately, early, they're going to get a PK. Now, John Cooper twice has started the Sorelli line. Twice they were off in 3 seconds. They actually touched the ice 3 times in a minute and 20 seconds. Already gamesmanship is in full flight.
Tampa Bay, the setup on the power play. The Habs penalty kill is presented by Popeyes Quebec. Lightning are forced to center right off the face-off. Tampa Bay 3 for 13 in this series. Habs are 4 for 13 on the play, or rather on the power play here in the playoffs. So both teams have been almost eye level in terms of special teams as well as 5-on-5. As here come the Lightning. Far side, Hagel tries a shot and moved it well wide as Kucherov to the line for Radish. One touch, Hagel. Back across for Gensel. He fan of the one-timer. Now Kucherov. Back over to Hagel. Out in front, wanted point. Dobish there with the pad save. Battle in front, and it's forced over to the far wing for Radish. Now Matheson down low, under pressure from Hagel. Point and Gensel both in there as well. 1 minute to go in the 5-on-4 for Tampa Bay. Puck still wedged up along the boards. Finally comes loose for Tampa. Here's Kucherov, far side. Radish settles, gets the shot off at Dobish. Makes the save and hangs on as he slides all the way to the restricted zone. Now Darren Radish, known for his one-timer, John, couldn't get it off there.
No, he couldn't. The puck was just a little bit too back towards his back foot, but you see how quickly Tampa is rotating around. They're looking for Braden Point in a multitude of ways, whether it's a deflection from the bumper, a shot from the bumper, and at times he'll drift from that bumper spot to the weak side to get open for a shot.
Battle off the draw, back from Matheson under pressure. Suzuki on it now, and he'll slide it all the way out down the ice. 39 seconds left to kill for Montreal. Radish drops it to Braden Point. Through center ice. To have territory, off to Hagel. Up top, Radish. Lightning gets set up. Gensel right side, down low, Kucherov. Back to Gensel. Kucherov out in front, wanted point. He's tied up by Matheson. And the Canadiens are going to flip it out through center ice. And there's Anderson in on the forecheck. He gave a good run on Darren Radish. As the Habs are going to kill it off. And keep this game tied at 0. Slavkovsky, who was serving the bench minor for too many men, steps back on as here's Carrier with a hit on Hagel. Habs have it in the road zone. Going to ride the energy from this crowd after that first penalty kill of the night. Carrier tosses it in. Lilleberg over to Yanni Gourde. Now Max Crozier gets his first touch of the series for Tampa. As the Habs are going to be whistled down for offside.
That last sequence for Tampa, it just looked like one too many cute passes. It looked like they had Montreal dead to rights, even Dobish dead to rights, but it was just one extra pass, and it allowed Montreal to just collapse that slot area and defend.
Was Braden Point on the power play in Game 3 that had the first goal of the game for Tampa Bay, as Cirelli is going to take this face-off in the Montreal zone. Glove side on Dobish, and it'll be Alex Newhook in for Montreal, and he's able to win that back for Lane Hudson. Hudson off the boards, up to center. Here goes Newhook. Speed down the left side. Gage Gonsalves gets back as Newhook tried to move that through the middle for Kapanen. That's picked off by Tampa Bay. Now Cirelli into the attacking zone with Gage Gonsalves. Back through the middle, wanted Yanni Gourde. Dobish slides out of his crease, but Gourde couldn't settle it down to try and tuck it back in. As the Habs move it ahead, here they go to center. Hudson. He's erased by Darren Radish. As it's steered around the boards for Gourde, far side. Here comes Tampa to center. Gonsalves left side. Good play by Struble. Takes him out along the boards, forces it out to center. Gonsalves throws it right back in. Lane Hudson starts ahead. Tried a long snap pass toward Kirby Dach, intercepted by Gensel. And Bjorkstrand throws it right back in the other way. 31 years old, Bjorkstrand out of Herning, Denmark. And as the Canadiens have it, deep in their own zone. Pushed off the puck, centering try from Dominic James, couldn't find the mark. Now settled down by Zach Bolduc for Montreal. He'll go to center and then gives it away to Dominic James. James twisting in far side, hands off to Gensel. To the line, McDonough with a hard shot. That sails wide. Chernak at the line. Wanted to go back through the middle. Good stick by Dach. And now Tampa Bay corral it high in their own zone. Chernak to James. And then James gets run into the boards by Arbor Jack-Eye. Now back through center. Yanni Gord chases it in deep behind the Montreal net. Jack-Eye with a good hit. Back up the far side. Habs come ahead to center. Caulfield moving in. Suzuki drives the middle. Caulfield shot, and that's stopped by Vasilevsky. No rebound on that deal. Hang on tight with 13:20 to go in the first period. Crowd is into the game. No goal scoring yet, though, in Montreal. We are tied at 0. And Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
For 60 years, Delmar has delivered excellence. Strikes, delays, tariffs, challenge accepted. With global reach, smart tech, and supply chain mavens, Delmar's proactive approach ensures your cargo keeps moving. DelmarCargo.com. Logistics made simple.
Get ready. Lasso Montreal is back. August 15 and 16 at Parc Jean Drapeau with Thomas Rhett, Mumford & Sons, John Party, Old Dominion, and many more. Weekend tickets and single-day tickets on sale now at LassoMontreal.com. Presented by Bell in collaboration with Coors Original.
Abrisvo is an RSV vaccine. 60 or over? Talk to your healthcare provider about Pfizer's Abrisvo. Visit abrisvo.ca.
I'm with a Montreal Habs fan. Heading into the next game, what are you hoping for?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's about winning battles, winning draws, and winning tickets.
Tickets?
Yeah, Desjardins has this contest to win tickets. You put your name in, give yourself a chance, and you live with the result, you know?
You heard it, Desjardins members. Enter the Take Your Shot contest for a chance to win 2 tickets to the next Habs home game. Contest details and entry at Desjardins.com/Habs. Conditions apply.
Canadiens Hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
Welcome back inside Bell Center. 13:20 to go in the first period. Habs officially get their first shot. John, it's Cole Caulfield on what was almost a 2-on-1 with Nick Suzuki.
And the only reason it wasn't a 2-for-1 was number 86 for Tampa looked over his shoulder, and, you know, we've called a ton of Tampa games in person here. I don't think I've ever seen him back check that hard. And so instead of a 2-on-1 and a clear 2-on-1, it was a 2-on-2, and it allowed Vasilevsky to challenge the shooter and catch that right in the chest.
Philip Deneau will take this offensive zone face-off with Evans and Anderson, and he wins it back for Jaden Struble. Shot coming in, that's stopped by Vasilevsky. Rebound rolls out, and the Habs keep it alive. McDonough on it. He'll sweep that off the boards right out to center ice. And now it's tossed in by Struble as McDonough goes after it. Comes loose in front. Tampa Bay control and played off the skate of Gensel down ice. This will not be icing as Jack-Eye is on it. And now Gensel takes it away. Tried to center. Good stick by Evans. Pokes it away. And here goes Anderson rushing down the right side into the Lightning zone. Tried to steer that to the net. Directed aside. Crozier got his stick up on Philip Deneau. And there's going to be a penalty on this play. Sticking on Crozier will send Montreal to their first power play of the night, brought to you by Ford of Canada, official partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
And you got to wonder, with all the scrapes and whacks across the face of some of these players over the first 3 games, a high stick that normally wouldn't draw blood will draw blood that much easier. And will the referees turn a blind eye to that? Because they'll say at previous, we see that big mark across his nose. But that didn't split open, and luckily for Tampa, it ends up only being a 2-minute.
Battle off the draw. Habs win at far side. Demidov down low to Slavkovsky. Habs get set up right away. Here's Hudson. Over to Demidov. Through the middle. Suzuki with a shot, and he zipped it just wide. As Tampa Bay clamber out back to center ice with Hagel. Habs strip it. And now Demidov in over the line. Cross ice for Slavkovsky. Canadians look to get set. Now here's Demidov, far side. Trying to spin away from Cirelli. Throws it off. Hudson with it. Back to Demidov. At the goal line now, Slavkovsky. Demidov. Up high for Hudson. Shot it coming. Stop. Rebound in front. Vasilevsky turns that away from Uri Slavkovsky. As the Canadiens filter it around the near side. Hudson from the line. Far side. Demidov with a shot, and he didn't get much of that. As it trickles wide of the net. Habs try and win the battle, but it's swept out by Chernak, and Dobish is out in a hurry. Habs trying to catch Tampa Bay mid-change. Unable to do so. But they do cross the line here with Slavkovsky. Down the wing with a wrister, a little toe drag try, and Vasilevsky's all over that as he'll cover up with 43 seconds to go in this 5-on-4.
Well, that bumper look by Nick Suzuki right after the faceoff was a grade A chance. He just basically shanked it to the left. But right this entry again, Slavkovsky is just like, when we can attack off an entry, why not go for that quick strike? And he goes for that toe drag, and he tries to shoot and score like he did in game 1 in overtime.
Canadians turn to their second power play unit. Texier, Newhook, Doc, Matheson, and Bolduc as they get it off the draw. Bolduc far side for Montreal. Snapped it around the boards. Comes over to Texier. Down low near corner. Lilleberg tied up with Newhook. There's a good hit by Zach Bolduc. The Lightning clear it anyway, as Bolduc ran right through Zemgus Girgensons. As Matheson's taken down, there's going to be a penalty on Yanni Gourde. And there's going to be a 5-on-3 for 12 seconds for Montreal.
Tampa penalty. Number 37, 2-minute minor, cross-checking.
Yeah, Yanni Gourde goes with a downward cross-check as Matheson's recovering that puck, and he's in a turn. So it won't take much for the player to go down, but it is a cross-check that used to be used all the time, but over the last better part of 10 years is not tolerated anymore, especially if it creates a situation where it would be a clear turnover and potentially a scoring chance.
Habs 5-on-3 off the draw. Suzuki to the line. Hudson near side. Caulfield uncorks the shot, but wide of the net and all the way down the ice. That's going to be it for the abbreviated 5-on-3. Habs still on the power play for 1:45 or less.
And the 5-on-3 that we normally see Dobson play instead of Lane Hudson.
Here goes Suzuki into the attacking zone. Habs get set again. Far side Demidov. Tried to pass it back. Still got it. Keeping it away from Brandon Hagel. Now dishes off. Hudson near side. Suzuki with a one-timer. That's blocked by Chernak. Hudson over to Caulfield. Down low. Suzuki. Back toward Hudson. Shot incoming. That hit a body. Now back in front again. Slavkovsky with a swing and a miss. Hudson up high. Near side Caulfield to the net. And this is stopped by Vasilevsky, as it took a bit of a redirect in front, but he's got it underneath his pads.
And you can see this top unit for Montreal. They're getting looks and they're improvising, but they're really reading off each other. We've had Suzuki a couple times in the bumper spot, Caulfield a little higher, Suzuki on the goal line, and again you got the big man in Slavkovsky going from bumper to goal line. So there's several looks, and they're really trying to beat Tampa's pressure with short, quick passes by underhandling the puck.
Second unit again for Montreal with 1:05 left in this 5-on-4. It's a win for Zemgus Girgensons off the draw, but the Habs get right to it. Here's Zach Bolduc far side. Down low, Kirby Doc. Over to Texier near wing. All the way back from Mike Matheson on the second unit. Over to Texier. Wrister, that's stopped by Vasilevsky and cleared rapidly down the ice by Jake Guentzel.
Yeah, and this second power play unit does not typically see 1:05 on the clock when they get on the ice.
And an offensive zone faceoff as well, as they come to center now in transition. Far side, Bolduc. He'll slow it down. Texier near side, drops off. Matheson, Bolduc, shot, that's blocked by J.J. Moser. Now Bolduc to the line, and Matheson can't reach out far enough to keep that puck in. It's not going to leave a whole lot of time here as the Habs get new bodies onto the ice. Deneau is one of them, as Evans and Anderson on as well. Here's Matheson down the wing. One last gasp on the power play. Not a bad move there, John, but he's denied off the short side by Vasilevsky.
Yeah, he did a hell of a job of faking that drop or that slingshot on the power play entry, and he was going up against a forward in Brendan Hagel. So as he opens up the hit, looks back over his right shoulder and then says, forget this, and takes it. If he had a little bit more juice in the tank, he might have taken this right to the net.
Not many players that skate as efficiently and as smoothly as Mike Matheson. That was on display right there. 3 seconds to go on this power play. Deneau's going to take the draw blocker side here on Vasilevsky. Off right to Anderson with a shot. That goes off of Girgensons and out of play as the power play is over. So a brief 5-on-3. The second half of that power play was presented by Florida Canada. First partner, the Montreal Canadiens. Habs are 0 for 2 in the early going. This game is tied at 0 with 8:48 left in the first on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
If Bell 5 TV is now streaming, is it still TV? Is it still TV if there's no TV box? If I can stream all my favorite channels and pause and record shows, that's TV, right?
A new era of 5 TV. It's streaming, but it's still TV.
Well, glad that's settled.
Bell. Connection is everything.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee. Made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
Hey, so what did you want to talk about?
Well, I want to tell you about Wegovy.
Wegovy?
Yeah, Wegovy.
What about it?
On second thought, I might not be the right person to tell you.
Oh, you're not?
No, just ask your doctor about Wegovy. Yeah, ask her it by name.
Okay, so why did you bring me to this circus?
Oh, I'm really into lion tamers. You know, with the chair and everything.
Ask your doctor for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Exclusions may apply.
The biggest superstar in country music, Luke Combs, presents his My Kind of Saturday Night Tour with special guests, May 29th and 30th at Parc Jean Drapeau. Tickets on sale now at lukecombs.com.
The home of your Montreal Canadiens. TSN 690.
8:48 to go on this first period of play. No score yet in Montreal, but the Habs, John, getting their best chances of the night on the power play here so far, unable to capitalize on 8 shots.
Yeah, and if your power play doesn't score, in the old adage, you got to build momentum. And those were 2 looks or 2 power plays that they looked really good. They weren't frustrated. They were getting different looks from different kind of just instinctual reads and guys in and out of different positions. So now you hope that they could build off that momentum. It's 8-0 over about the last 10 or so minute stretch in shots for Montreal.
Well, face-off blocker side on Vasilevsky. New hook out there with Kapanen and Demidov, but it's controlled by Tampa Bay. Gensel to center with Cirelli. Near side, Cirelli looks back for Radish. That's tipped out to center by Newhook and recovered by Nikita Kucherov. Moser snaps it in. Near side, Gensel to the line. Moser with a drive. That hit his own man in front. Now Radish fans on his shot at the point. That allows Montreal out to center ice. Here's Newhook. Over to Kapanen, tried to shove it in. Habs have to try again. It'll be Newhook to skate it in. So he'll feed it off near side. Demidov. Kapanen's side of the net. Good shoulder save by Vasilevsky. As we got a whistle for a hand pass. 7:59 to go in the period. As Kapanen, John, was trying to go upstairs to open up the goal scoring here.
Yeah, he was trying to shoot it right at Vasilevsky's ears when he goes down. The other thing that these back-to-back power plays from Montreal, what it did for Tampa was it allowed guys like Kucherov to get a lot of rest. A 4-minute stretch early in the game is not what he's used to, right? So right out of the gate, right out of the commercial break, you see the top dogs come out and you can see that they got a little extra jump in their step.
Cirelli out there again for Tampa Bay against Jake Evans. And the Canadiens to throw off the draw. And once again, the Cirelli line immediately goes to the bench after taking the face-off.
Yeah, they want their matchup, so they're going to do it after face-offs.
Lightning trying to direct it in from center. It's going to be whistled back. Again, John, we talked to John Cooper this morning as part of the rights holders meeting. For the second straight pregame meeting with John Cooper, he has talked down the lineup matching, just as Marty St. Louis did as well. But it doesn't seem to really be the case here at all, does it?
No, not at all. Again, we talked about in the first minute, 20, minute 30, Danny Gord and Cirelli's line had touched the ice 3 times and then got off. We just saw it happen again. And then as the referee puts up his hand, then goes to Martin St. Louis, do you want to make a change? He's also dragging his heels a little bit and taking all the time he can have to make his changes and get away from certain matchups.
Nick Paul on the ice wins the faceoff for Tampa Bay. He's got Girgensons and Perry on the wings. Still play it deep into the Montreal zone. Bolduc with Doc and Texier on the ice for the Habs. They'll lift it off the glass out through center. Emil Lilleberg all the way back. This is going to be an icing call against Montreal. And fresh set of legs right back onto the ice for Tampa Bay. That includes number 86, Nikita Kucherov.
Yeah, and you can see it from here, right? The moment that icing is whistled, Kucherov's not even looking at John Cooper. He's out the door right away. And it's going to be constant. Now, outside of line matchups, what a lot of coaches are looking for are great changes, especially on the fly. And we've already seen Montreal falter once by getting a too-many-men penalty.
Face-off glove hand side on Dobish. And Tampa right in front. Hagel couldn't settle it. Moser with a try. Not stopped by Dobish. And he will hang on tight for the whistle. That puck was about an inch closer for Hagel, John. He would have had a prime scoring opportunity.
Prime scoring opportunity, 1-on-0 with Dobish under the hash marks, basically the inner slot. And as Montreal right away, they're going to be like, all right, let's go top line against top line. And I actually don't think that John Cooper minds this kind of matchup, to be honest. I think that this, your best against my best, and who's going to push that needle further in their direction.
Suzuki wins this face-off for Montreal. Right back to Matheson. Both coaches have been very happy with their top players in terms of what they've been conceding defensively. The Habs almost turn it over here. In fact, they do. Nikita Kucherov with a low shot. That's off the backhand and corralled by Dobish. What I was trying to say there, John, is that both coaches have been happy with the defensive output for their top players, but both teams also want to see their top players score more here 5-on-5.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just about putting the puck in the back of the net. It's actually creating more grade A, and if you want to call it grade D scoring chances. It's been hard to come by, so you also got to recognize the fact that everybody is on high alert defensively.
Point versus Danault on the faceoff. And it's a win for Point. Right back to Radich. Near side, Kucherov tried to center it. It is corralled by Hagel right side. To the line. Radich with a shot. That took a couple deflections, but ultimately wide. Kucherov, Radich tried to fire another one. That's blocked by Suzuki. Out to center it goes. Radich recovers. And Kucherov dishes off. Braden Point near side. Works it around the boards. Right to Hagel. Cut off by Carrier. And now Matheson with it behind his own net. I think Matheson takes his time. The Canadiens are changing. 6:19 to go in our first period. No scoring yet in Montreal. Habs to center. Laid offside, and it is going to be an offside call here as Evans touches it.
Part of the defensive play by both teams as well is the neutral zone. It's how quickly they reload, and they don't hope to be in the right position. They get above pucks, great sticks. You look at Tampa for a long time now has played a 1-1-3 neutral zone forecheck where they step up at red lines, forcing Montreal to dump the puck in, who, in fact, in these playoffs have dumped the puck in third most at 5-on-5. And you got to wonder, can you break through that by moving the puck and transitioning quicker.
Another shoot in from center. This one's from Caden Gooley. As Crozier behind his own net. Moves it around near side. Lightning zone comes back to Crozier. He'll throw it up the boards for Gonçalves. Into the neutral zone and drawn all the way back behind the Montreal net by Philip Deneau. Gooley. Off the glass. Center ice for Crozier. He gave it away to Philip Deneau. Crozier makes up for the mistake and jams the puck back to center. Now Lane Hudson backtracks into his own zone. Halves are changing. Kapanen and Newhook Demidov onto the ice. Gooley near side, mishandles it. Gets it back, trying to play it in deep here. He's caught up now with Braden Point. Right in front of the penalty box. Puck comes loose for Tampa. Glove down by Hagel. And he'll bounce that into the Montreal zone. The Canadiens dangerously in their own slot. Demidov almost threw that away. It does come to center. Tampa Bay settle it down. And now here goes Hagel. Skates in near side. Hagel, little backhand pass off the point. Pad save from Domish. Loose in front. Domish sprawling out. Never had to make the save. It is taken by Moser. Off the left side. Moser spins it down low for Point. Now Kucherov centers. Matheson breaks that up. As the Canadiens will settle it down, and Matheson rips it all the way through center ice. This could be icing. And it will not be, though. They're going to say that was tipped on the way.
I have no idea how that's waved off. We just see the replay here.
Canadiens at center intercept the puck. Kirby Dach turns it back into his own zone for Juraj Slafkovsky. Now Struble up to center. Lightning trying to bat it back in over the Montreal line. They do. Dach handles it. He'll throw it all the way down ice for Zach Bolduc. Backhanded off the boards. Forked out to center by Nick Paul. As Tampa Bay directed right back in behind their own net. Lilleberg. Around out to center. Nick Paul. Cross ice. Good intercept by Zach Bolduc. With 3.5 to play in the first period, still tied at 0.
A lot of turnovers where situations you see normally guys dumping it in, guys just trying to make that extra pass.
And the Canadiens have iced it here, John. That's a relatively straightforward pass that Jackeye misses the mark on, and it's going to come right back to the Hab zone.
Yeah, and he's been on. He and Bolduc have been on for over a minute. Everybody else, Hudson, Suzuki, Sivkovsky, are quite fresh, but of course, John Cooper's going to come with Kucherov joining Cirelli's line with Gensel and removing Yanni Gordon in this situation. That's what those 4 minutes of PK allow John Cooper to have a fresher Kucherov for these types of situations.
Suzuki off the draw, wins it for Montreal, and he's able to get it ahead to center. Darren Radish all the way back to pick it up. And he'll zip it ahead for Kucherov. Center ice, cross ice feed. Onside, here goes Gensel. Left side through the middle, and that's poked just wide by J.J. Moser. Near side boards. That's trying to jam it out. Take it away. Kucherov in front, just missed Jake Gensel. As now Caulfield to center with Slafkovsky. He'll shoot it in. Suzuki first to it. And Cirelli gets in the way and feeds it right over for Gensel as Radish is tied up behind the play with Caulfield. Lightning throw it away at the Montreal blue line. Here's Suzuki. Down ice into the Lightning zone. Drops off. Slafkovsky with a wrister, and that carries wide. Far side Caulfield. That gets away from him as Tampa Bay will play it to center ice. Good hit by Gooley. Right into Gonçalves. Tampa the other way, though. Bjorkstrand centered in front. Here's Chernak back over for Bjorkstrand. He put it just wide. Blocker side on Dobich. Now Bjorkstrand, bit of a hit on Deneau. Puck cleared to center. Good shift here for the Dane Bjorkstrand, who's back into the lineup for the first time in the playoffs. As Gonçalves throws it right to Jake Evans. Minute 52 to go in the first period. No score yet. Vasilevsky behind his own net. Played around the boards out to center. Bouncing puck. Evans throws it right back to Lilleberg. Now Lightning near side. Can't connect with Hagel. Jam to center again for Crozier. Now here's Point. Puck knocked away by Philip Deneau. Glove down by Hagel. Fires across ice. Deneau able to swing it to center. Evans chasing after it. He's tied up with Lilleberg. Far side, he'll get it over. Matheson tries a shot, blocked off the shin guard of Emil Lilleberg. As Lilleberg settles it down for Tampa Bay, who are changing up the three forwards. Shots 9-6 Montreal. Into the final minute of period number 1. Lilleberg pokes it ahead. Into the half zone. Lane Hudson. Back up the near side. Gensel tied up with Demidov. Comes to center for waiting J.J. Moser. Now Gensel just throws it away at the line. Canadians back in transition. Here's Moser with Ivan Demidov low in the Lightning zone. Picked up by Anthony Cirelli. And he'll move that to center ice for Gensel. Off to Radish. Far side. Ooh, that's pretty close to being offside, but Yanni Gord brought it in. That's broken up. Here go the Habs the other way. Far side space. Kapanen turns around from James, and he'll play it down low for Newhook. Right back to the line. Matheson. Cross ice. Hudson shot. That goes off of Yanni Gord. Near side. Not much time for the Habs. One last shot attempt. Blocked in front. That was Texier pulling the trigger, and that is going to be all for this first period. One last hit by Bolduc. He got a piece of Yanni Gord. It'll draw a little shove from Darren Radish, but not much more than that. As these two teams will go their separate ways after one period of play, which does not bring us a goal yet, John.
No, it doesn't, but there's plenty of action. I like what Bolduc, he knows it's a fine line of finishing that hit at the whistle, but he's had one big hit, and that second one right here just shows how engaged he is. Everybody's engaged right now. It's exciting type of hockey. I think this game plays out at 5-on-5.
A couple power plays there on either side. Well, 2 for Montreal, 1 for Tampa Bay, 3 in total. Nobody gets a goal. Shots 9-6 in favor of the Canadians through 20. We're going to take a break here and be back. It's the first intermission roundtable on this Sunday night. Game 4 between Montreal and Tampa Bay on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
Scoring big starts at Voisin. Through the playoffs, your 20-pack of Molson Canadian cans is at minimum price. Stop by Voisin before the puck drops. Voisin, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Are you looking for an insurance broker, passionate and professional? With 65 years of experience, SO Insurance has proven to be totally dedicated to serving its clients. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, their brokers have one priority: to find you the best offer available to insure your home, car, and all other types of motorized vehicles. Call 833-370-2704 or visit SOR.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Get ready. Lasso Montreal is back. August 15 and 16 at Parc Jean-Drapeau with Thomas Rhett, Mumford & Sons, John Party, Old Dominion, and many more. Weekend tickets and single-day tickets on sale now at LassoMontreal.com. Presented by Bell in collaboration with Coors Original.
Canadiens hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
The Morning Show with Connor McKenna and Sean Starr. Your one-stop shop for everything from in-depth discussion with the most plugged-in people on the Habs and the NHL to hard-hitting commentary on what is and absolutely is not an acceptable topping to put on a cheeseburger. Whether it's 4 minutes or 4 hours, it's the best way to spend a part of your morning. The Morning Show with McKenna and Starr. Weekdays starting at 6, TSN 690.
And here we go. Play resumes. Only seconds left in the third. Puck drops. Face-off won by Montreal in their own end. Back to the defenseman. Long stretch pass. Here's the breakaway. He shoots. He scores. He shoots. What a save. He shoots. Oh, he missed the shot.
When it comes to sports, there are so many possibilities, everything can change in a split second. You may know sports, but that doesn't change the odds. Mise au jeu, 18+.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you, all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
For the first time in a decade, the NHL returns to the great outdoors of Winnipeg.
The Heritage Classic.
October 25th, Mark Scheifele and the Winnipeg Jets face off against Nick Suzuki and the Montreal Canadiens. Outdoors at Princess Auto Stadium in the Tim Hortons NHL Heritage Classic.
Get that outdoor feel in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Don't miss your chance to experience hockey outdoors live.
Hockey under the sky.
Get your tickets now at nhl.com/Heritage Classic.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee. Made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
The Montreal Canadiens Fan Jam, presented by La Cage, comes to life for the playoffs. Be there for the biggest outdoor party in the city, featuring tattoos, a barber, food, drinks, and more. Rain or shine, join us at the Canadiens Plaza next to the Bell Center before home games only. Free admission, but first come, first served. Experience the playoff frenzy with the most passionate fans. Get all the details at playoffs.canadiens.com.
Abrysvo is an RSV vaccine. 60 or over? Talk to your healthcare provider about Pfizer's Abrysvo. Visit abrysvo.ca.
Canadiens Hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
Davidov, applied for Hudson. Shot it coming, stop, rebound in front. Vasilevsky turns that away from Juraj Slavkovsky. Face-off glove hand side on Dobish. And Tampa right in front. Hagel couldn't settle it. Moser with a try. Not stopped by Dobish. And he will hang on tight for the whistle. Tampa Bay settle it down. And now here goes Hagel. Skates in near side. Hagel, little backhand pass off the point. Pad save from Dobish. Loose in front. Dobish sprawling out. Never had to make the save. It is taken by Moser.
Welcome back to the Bell Center. It's Montreal Canadiens hockey on TSN 690. Canadiens and Tampa Bay Lightning tied 0-0 after one period of play. Your first period scoring summary. No goals. I'm Mitch Gallo, and it is time for the first intermission roundtable. We have John still with us, and the coach, John Goyens. For starters, guys, what did you like about what we saw from Montreal in that first period?
I thought that consecutively those might have been the Canadiens' two best power plays in terms of puck movement since game number one. That'd probably be the thing that stands out the most to me. Cole Caulfield, a little bit more active, getting more shots on goal, looking like he's looking for shots more so than looking to defer like we've seen the first couple of games so far this series. And yeah, it just felt both teams were able to move the boxes around a little bit better in terms of what they were able to do on the power play. Tampa Bay doing the same thing. So I think it bears some good vibes for the Canadiens going forward, that power play, and even the second unit of the power play looked as confident as they did, just not able to solve Vasilevsky.
John? Yeah, it definitely starts with the power play. I mean, again, we have a screen in here, so we're getting a lot of replays. It was the fact that everything seemed a lot more instinctual. Guys were reading off each other. You know, if I'm in your spot, you're in my spot, and it didn't bother them. They weren't slowing down the pace by any means. They weren't just going like X marks the spot, and so it made it more difficult for Tampa's PK to dictate what happened in those special team situations. They took charge, and with those back-to-backs, it actually forced Montreal to play the second power play unit a little bit more, a lot more than usual, and they got a little bit more zone time. At some point, though, they're going to need just a screen, because that's a big man in number 88 in Vasilevsky in between the pipes, and they're going to have to find a way to not allow him to play near the top of his crease. They're going to have to climb on top of him and make him sag back.
John Cooper claims that the matchup game isn't really an emphasis for the Tampa Bay Lightning. What'd you think of how he was pulling guys on and off the ice, 3-second shifts, and really trying to get the matchups that he wanted?
Yeah, well, John Cooper is also a master of, again, he is a lawyer, right? So what he says and what he does and what he's going to think is his truth could be two different worlds, right? He's not going to give us the secret sauce, so to speak. There are a lot of people that, again, and it depends on the depth of your team at times and the health of your team, will matchups matter more than great changes and the timing of changes. But it was very obvious. He wanted to dictate the line changes right from the drop of the puck. And we mentioned Cirelli's line started, lost the draw, off the ice in 8 seconds or 10 seconds. Boom, go out like less than a minute later, same thing. And they were on literally 3 times in the first minute and a half.
Well, compare that to the Canadiens, where we just saw a little thing on the screen here where no Canadiens player played more than 7 minutes. No Canadiens forward played more than 7 minutes, and no Canadiens forward played less than 4. And so Martin St. Louis is doing the exact opposite, where he's just rolling his lines the way that he wants. I was pretty surprised how often the Newhook line, which seems to be the line that's a little bit more, can we say, lost or not as effective as the other three, or doesn't have as much of an identity as those other 3 lines, was able to get on the ice. But maybe that's Martin St. Louis just trying to jumpstart Ivan Demidov, because something tells me that one of those lines is going to have a big game tonight if the Canadiens are going to take a 3-1 series lead.
Now, guys, Cole Caulfield had the one look on the left side, maybe one of his best looks so far of the series. But at what point do we get a little bit concerned here that he's been a non-factor through 3 games in a period?
Well, I think if we're talking after the game about a Canadiens loss and no goals or no offense from that top line, I think absolutely it's going to be the only thing that we talk about. It's going to be a storyline. There's 2 periods left. I think that he and Suzuki have a little bit more jump than what I've seen from them the last 2 games, to say the least. But, the fact that he's not deferring so far in the early going here, he's just doing what Cole Caulfield does. That looked like the most normal Cole Caulfield that we've seen, especially in Game 3, where he just continued to kind of pass the puck to somebody else, kind of pass the buck a little bit. I really think that Suzuki and Caulfield know the importance of having to get over the line in Game 4 tonight.
Well, either way, it was the storyline going into the game, and it is going to be the storyline at the end of this game, because they're either going to put up the points or they're not. So it's going to be the satisfaction that they broke through, or it's going to be the frustration that they're off the score sheet. And that was the big storyline at 5-on-5 for the Montreal Canadiens going into this game. So as we've seen Martin St. Louis keep the same lineup, but change that the lines a little bit and put that dock line, and you want to call it the misfit line, right? Because a lot of people were screaming for at least 2 out of those 3 guys to potentially be scratched. Now they've gone out and they've done the job. It might be, and I know it's crazy to say, but maybe it's time for Slafkovsky to join the kids. Maybe Newhook's the speed burst that the top line needs, because you're going to have to kickstart the top line for some scoring here.
John, Jakub Dobeš, a bit of an adventure at times in that first period.
Yeah, that was the most chaotic first period we've seen through the first round of these playoffs. And look, I think if you're John Cooper and you're the Lightning, you go into the break pretty satisfied about 2 things. One, that you made Dobeš look uncomfortable. He looked like he was scrambling a little bit more than he has so far this series. And the final 10 minutes, they really dictated the play, Tampa Bay. I mean, Nikita Kucherov and Braden Point getting on the puck way more. The Canadiens were scrambling in their own end. So I think if you're Tampa Bay, you're probably the more pleased of the 2 teams, because you didn't get that extra power play that the Canadiens got, and yet the final 10 minutes seemed to be there.
John, what are you circling here for the second period?
Well, actually, I wanted to stay on that Dobeš point, because if not for Newhook's stick check on Yanni Gourde at 14:59, when Dobeš was flat out on his belly and sliding past his net, then Yanni Gourde stuffing that from below the goal line and in. And then later in the period, I believe it was Braden Point over there by the Fastenal ice sign there, where he threw it out back in front, and it was absolute chaos where guys were just laying down. It looked like they were playing mini sticks there for a second, and everybody was doing everything to block shots. I think Montreal, as much as the matchup game is very prevalent for Tampa, they've got to find a way to be proactive and dictate, no matter who's on the ice, dictate the forecheck, dictate the zone entries, and dictate pace of play by not letting Tampa establish the neutral zone forecheck.
Guys, thanks as always.
Thank you.
There's the coach, John Goyens. And John, still here at the Bell Center for your first intermission roundtable. It is 0-0 between the Lightning and Canadiens after one period of play. Coming up next, we'll get you caught up with the out-of-town scoreboard on TSN 690.
I'm with a Montreal Habs fan. Heading into the next game, what are you hoping for?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's about winning battles, winning draws, and winning tickets.
Tickets?
Yeah, Desjardins has this contest to win tickets. You put your name in, give yourself a chance, and you live with the result,
You heard it, Desjardins members. Enter the Take Your Shot contest for a chance to win 2 tickets to the next Habs home game. Contest details and entry at desjardins.com/Habs. Conditions apply.
You're listening to the home of sports in Montreal. TSN 690, CKGM, and iHeart Radio Station.
For the first time in a decade, the NHL returns to the great outdoors of Winnipeg.
The Heritage Classic.
October 25th, Mark Scheifele and the Winnipeg Jets face off against Nick Suzuki and the Montreal Canadiens. Outdoors at Princess Auto Stadium in the Tim Hortons NHL Heritage Classic.
Get that outdoor feel in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Don't miss your chance to experience hockey outdoors live.
Hockey under the sky.
Get your tickets now at NHL.com/Heritage Classic.
Are you looking for a damage insurance broker that specializes in commercial insurance? There is only one name, SOR Insurance. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, SOR Insurance brokers are the perfect advisors for you. With more than 65 years experience, SOR Insurance is proud of its team of brokers who stand out for their ability to select the best products for your business. Call 833-370-2704 or visit SOR.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Spring's finally here, and Julie is making the most of it, going for long walks, escaping the city, and reconnecting with nature.
Hey, girls!
And reconnecting with her besties, one of whom is having a baby shower on the other side of the country.
Switch to Canada's best 5G network and never miss an important moment. Plus, get all the data you need at a great price. Visit a Bell store or bell.ca/rate plans. Bell. Connection is everything.
Canadiens hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
First power play of the game. Back it comes for Nazem Kadri. The Avs 0 for 9 in this series. They're due. Landeskog to Kadri. Looks. Cross one-timer. Score! Nathan McKinnon rips it past the dot through Forsberg, and it trickles in, and the Avs have a 1-0 lead. Forsberg got some of it, but he couldn't get all of it.
Welcome back to the Bell Center. Out-of-town scoreboard. Avalanche knock out the Kings with a 5-1 victory in Game 4. That series ends in a sweep. Buffalo over Boston 6-1 and grab a 3-0 stranglehold. Coming up next, the second period between Tampa and Montreal. It's all tied up at 0.
The biggest superstar in country music, Luke Combs, presents his My Kind of Saturday Night Tour with special guests, May 29th and 30th at Parc Jean-Drapeau. Tickets on sale now at lukecombs.com.
For the first time in a decade, the NHL returns to the great outdoors of Winnipeg.
The Heritage Classic.
October 25th, Mark Scheifele and the Winnipeg Jets face off against Nick Suzuki and the Montreal Canadiens. Outdoors at Princess Auto Stadium in the Tim Hortons NHL Heritage Classic.
Get that outdoor feel in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Don't miss your chance to experience hockey outdoors live.
Hockey under the sky.
Get your tickets now at NHL.com/Heritage Classic.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee. Made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
The first intermission is brought to you by Wegovy. Ask your doctor for Wegovy by name and visit wegovy.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply.
Voisin knows everything tastes better after a win. This playoff season, when the Habs take the win, the celebration continues at Voisin. Swing by the following day for a free small Bleu Blanc Rouge slush. Voisin, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Details and conditions in store.
Are you looking for an insurance broker, passionate and professional? With 65 years of experience, SO Insurance has proven to be totally dedicated to serving its clients. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, their brokers have one priority: to find you the best offer available to insure your home, car, and all other types of motorized vehicles. Call 833-370-2704 or visit SOR.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
This is Montreal Canadiens hockey on your home of the Habs, TSN 690.
Welcome back inside the Bell Center. You're with us just in time for puck drop and the start of period number 2. Habs moving from left to right. Victor Finley with John Goyens on the call as the Habs are going to try and look and open up a little bit more here. Even strength. They mustered just 3 of their 9 shots, 5-on-5 in that first period.
Yeah, 5-on-5, they definitely got to find a way to create, and some of that has to come off the rush. They've been forced to dump the puck a lot in this series, and a lot of that has to do with what Tampa is forcing them to do, and they're going to have to find ways to beat that neutral zone forecheck and create some possession entries.
And away we go for the start of the second period of play. No score yet in Game 4 with the Habs leading this series 2-1. Here goes the far side. First shot of the period is a slap shot that's stopped by Vasilevsky. A little late poke there from Josh Anderson, and that's going to draw quite a scrum behind the nets. A lot of players, but not a whole lot of pushing and shoving going on just yet.
Yeah, he just wants to stir the hornet's nest there a little bit. It wasn't like he went there hacking at Vasilevsky's hands, but, a little poke, and he wants to engage some of the Tampa Bay players into some extracurricular activities.
Corey Perry was in the middle of that too, although decides to take the high road this time, so go back to the bench. Not heard a lot or seen a lot of Corey Perry here in Montreal yet. The Lightning win the faceoff, played out to center. Matter of fact, the biggest pop we've heard for Corey Perry so far in Montreal has been in the warm-up. Here's Tampa Bay with a shot off the far side. That's Yanni Gourde, turned away by Dobish, who goes all the way down ice. And Ryan McDonough is on it for Tampa. And he's erased as Josh Anderson might have got the worst of that, as he's still down on the ice for Montreal. And they're going to blow the whistle as a result. And Josh Anderson, who has already been on the receiving end of a hit from Sabrin.
Got a minor for a board.
Yeah, they're going to call Anderson here for the penalty, which is going to add insult to injury.
Yeah, he almost drove McDonough, or pretty close to head first into the boards there. And it's just, you would have thought McDonough would have been down and out, but Anderson, he got twisted up there.
It didn't look that bad.
It's the twist. His legs kind of got wrapped up with McDonough's, and it looked like it might have twisted a knee because he's going right down the tunnel.
He took that hit from Sabrin, John, in Game 2, and that looked like it was more of a back injury than anything, but went down the tunnel, returned from that, missed practice and morning skate in the subsequent days, but we'll take another, what we hope is, short break here for the Canadiens as they're going to go shorthanded. Penalty kill is presented by Popeyes Quebec, and Alexandre Texier is going to serve the 2 minutes for Anderson. Lightning 0 for 1 tonight. They will send out Sorelli to take the draw against Jake Evans. And off the face-off, it's controlled by Montreal. Newhook will shoot it right down the ice. As the Lightning catch up to it, Darren Radish will slowly work his way ahead to center, then drops it off. Here's Point. Cruising in with Jake Gensel. To the line, that missed Radish. He's got to go back to center. Now Radish from his own blue line. Leaves it behind for Braden Point. Now off to Gensel. Lightning settle it down near side. They'll get set up in formation. Minute 20 to go in their 5-on-4 power play. Kucherov far side. Down low to Gensel. Back to Kuch. Into the slot. Tries a shot that goes wide off a body. Now Gensel. Looking down low for Hagel. Side of the net. Chance to clear. And Mike Matheson does just that. Now Tampa Bay regroup as they keep this unit on the ice into the final 49 seconds now of the power play. Here's Kucherov left side. Works it in and then throws it all the way back to his own goalie. As the Hat fans are all over him for that. Hagel ahead to center. Drops it back for Gensel. Far side. Corey Perry on the ice for Tampa Bay. This is worked away down the ice by the Canadiens.
And Kucherov's also going to be making himself a bigger target if he shows that kind of body language. The fans are getting all over him.
Here's Dominic James twisting in over the Montreal blue line. All the way in behind the Canadiens net. Brennan comes for Gonçalves. To the line, Chernak. Back to Gonçalves. Turning away, and that's it for the power play. Lightning don't get much on that, as they are 0 for 2 tonight. Nick Paul carries it around the offensive zone. Right back down low, looking for James. Stolen away by Montreal. Caden Gooley will move it over for Lane Hudson. Now Texier at center, mishandled it, and I believe they're going to call this offside. Tampa Bay.
Yeah, James was arguing that Texier put it back into his own zone, and the faceoff will be outside. Tampa were too predictable, way too predictable on their entries. They kick it out. You got Braden Point with tremendous speed, kicks it out to Gensel. Gensel just goes down the wall in a very, very slow pace, and then he wants to kick it back or reverse it back up top. But they've become way too predictable, and Montreal's closing that off, getting it down the ice, and 86, Kucherov is getting really, really frustrated.
Face off at center ice. It's won back by Tampa Bay. Ryan McDonough from behind his own net. He will slowly make his way up to center. Tosses it in. Dobish knocks it into the near corner. Now locked up near side. 3.5 minutes gone in the second period of play. No goal scoring yet. Heated battle going on here between Kucherov and Jaden Struble. Puck is still wedged up. And they finally whistle it down. We don't see that very often, but that puck didn't seem to be going anywhere. As Struble with a couple more pokes at Kucherov, trying to draw a reaction.
Chernak was just waiting right at the top of circles. Do I go or do I not go? Because the moment he dives in, the faceoff would be outside, but it didn't cross the line where Kucherov needed number 81's assistance in that corner battle with both Struble and Jackeye.
Face-off coming up blocker side on Dobish. And the Habs are going to put Caulfield on the ice with Suzuki and Slavkovsky.
And again, Martin St. Louis taking his time to make decisions on these line changes and really dragging it out at times.
Face-off controlled by Tampa Bay. Kucherov near side flings a shot wide. Comes around left wing for Moser. Try and bank that off the boards. It's into the feet of Kucherov. Picked up by Hagel and taken by Nick Suzuki as he'll look to go in behind his own net. He's harassed by Hagel. Puck floats out to center. And on it there is Moser. Lightning come right back in. Braden Point. Near side. Little backhand try on Dobich. That's denied. And caught with the glove as Kucherov was looking for the rebound, but there was none in sight.
And that's a matchup Montreal really likes, is the Kucherov-Matheson one. We've seen it here during the regular season, and Matheson ends up really getting under the skin of Nikita Kucherov, and he starts hacking and whacking. But again, Braden Point's got a lot of jump. He's quick strike here, but Matheson forces him to go with the backhand shot, and Dobesh is square.
So Dominic James out for the faceoff for Tampa with Gonsalves and Bjorkstrand. First line for Montreal with Suzuki in the faceoff done. He wins it back for Gooley. Now behind the net, Lane Hudson. Over to Caulfield. He's under all kinds of pressure here. Just throws it around the board. And the Habs with a bit of an emergency play out to center ice. Tampa Bay recuperate. And it's picked up by Gooley in his own end. Now Lane Hudson, good pass ahead, finds Suzuki far side. Into the Lightning zone, drops off. Slavkovsky back to Suzuki, cross ice Gooley. And that was about waist high. He couldn't settle the pass down. Tampa Bay will look out to center. They can't. And Suzuki picked it off, but then Chernak intercepted the feed intended for Slavkovsky. As the Lightning come back the other way. There's a good hit by Gooley. Got a piece of Gonsalves. As Perry's in on the forecheck for Tampa. Crozier pinching in from the line. And Cole Caulfield just throws it out to center ice. Habs are changing. Now Corey Perry gets dumped by Caden Gooley, who's been a menace on this shift for Montreal. He wins the puck battle here and plays it back for Lane Hudson. Now Kapanen up to center. Over the line. Can't come into the Tampa Bay zone clean. It'll be tossed in off the backhand by Arbor Jackoff. Near side, Lightning zone. Perry with it. He's going to go all the way in behind his own net. Third all-time in playoff games played in NHL history is Corey Perry, as this has moved all the way down ice. Only Nick Lidstrom and Chris Chelios have played more games in the Stanley Cup playoffs than Corey Perry. Jaden Struble handles it deep in his own end. 13:43 to go in the second period. No score yet in Montreal as Newhook shoots it in from center. Puck rides around the boards. Hagel off to Darren Radish. And he'll skate it ahead through the neutral zone. And over the Montreal line, off to Hagel. Up top, Moser with a try. That one took a deflection just wide. It's Kucherov lobs it wide of the net. Hagel off the near side. Tied up, goes down to the ice. Matheson digs it free. And the Canadiens play right back around to the near side. Matheson under pressure from Hagel. Finds an outlet to Demidov. Looks down ice. There's Josh Anderson back on for Montreal. That's good to see. After going down the tunnel off that hit with Ryan McDonough. As this puck is poked out of play to the half bench by Max Crozier. 12:52 to go in the second period of play. Almost halfway through the game. We don't have a goal yet. We're going to take a break on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
Choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit, you're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee. Made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
And here we go. Play resumes. Only seconds left in the third. Puck drops. Face-off won by Montreal in their own end. Back to the defenseman. Long stretch pass. Here's the breakaway. He shoots. He scores. He shoots. What a save. He shoots. Oh, he missed the shot.
When it comes to sports, there are so many possibilities, everything can change in a split second. You may know sports, but that doesn't change the odds. Miso Jeu, 18 plus.
The home of your Montreal Canadiens. TSN 690.
Welcome back inside Bell Center. 12:52 to go in the second period, and it doesn't look like, John, things are opening up anymore 5-on-5 as we transition into the midway part of this game.
No, Tampa's got 3 shots. Montreal has 1 shot at this point. 7 minutes and 8 seconds into this period, and it's just not a lot of space. It's really not a lot of space anywhere inside dots in all 3 zones, and that's why we're seeing so few shots and so few scoring opportunities.
Face-off blocker side on Vasilevsky. Cirelli's going to get tossed, so it'll be Suzuki on Yanni Gourde. Suzuki 4 for 7 on draws tonight. Battle for control here. It's won by Tampa Bay. And Anthony Cirelli moves it out to center. Gensel is on it. Steps into the half zone. And he's stripped of the puck by Caulfield. Played off the boards past McDonough, but handled by Yanni Gourde. Cheranak flips it right to Gouli at center ice. The Canadians played in slowly behind the Lightning net. Far side corner. Knocked around to the near side. Yanni Gourde. Up to center. Picked up by Lane Hudson. Hudson off to Gouli. Back over to Hudson. Try and snap that in. He does from center right off the glass. McDonough over to Cheranak. And Tampa almost turned it over in front off a deflection, but it does get to center for McDonough. Now here goes Braden Point moving in. Good play by Philip Deneau. That knocks it out to center for Crozier. Now directed in by Perry. Matheson with it. Down in front, Carrier is there for Montreal. That could have been dangerous. As the Lightning still over it on the forecheck. They win the battle. Here's Paul far side. Long shot. Hits the outside of the net. Now recovered by Zemgus Girgensons. Near side wing battles with Philip Deneau. Right along the boards. Paul swings it back around far side. Evans and Perry. Right over to Crozier now. And finally the Canadians win the battle and poke it out to center. And there's Anderson with a run at Lilleberg on the forecheck. Canadians have it in neutral territory. Given away right to Lilleberg. Here goes Kucherov far side. Looks back through with a seam past that, missed, and here go the Habs. In transition, near side, Doc. He's cut off along the near wing by Brandon Hagel, and the puck is played back into half territory. 10:35 to go in the second. Shots 10-9 Montreal, no goals yet. Cooley at center. Going to go back into his own zone. Habs are going to try and build some momentum here. As Kirby Dach, right side, runs into Moser, but it's spread in. Texier's shot, and that's blocked in front by Darren Radish. Bjorkstrand the other way for Tampa. He'll toss it in. Right after it on the forecheck with Keaton Gouli. Loose on the far side. Point directs it to the line. There is a long shot from Darren Radish. That's stopped and now has a transition. Bolduc near side. Moving in on Radish. Scores! And somehow, some way, Zach Bolduc wills the puck into the net. And it's 1-0 Montreal.
That's that kind of north-south hockey you're going to need. You're going to have to just drop your shoulder and drive that second post. And Zach Bolduc does exactly that. He gets inside Darren Radish's arms. And as he drives, that puck kicks up off Vasilevsky. And it looks like it hits him in the jersey somewhere and just drops over the goal line.
Well, there's a bit of a conversation here, John, at the Tampa Bay bench. John Cooper's looking down at the monitor.
Now, are they looking for interference? Can they look for, do they put a hand on that puck?
I didn't see anything there, John, and it doesn't look like Tampa Bay does either. And we're going to get right back at it. No challenge, and the goal will stand. Zach Bolduc from Kata Goulet and Alexandre Texier at 10:06 of the second period, and we finally got our icebreaker halfway through. Habs on the attack. There's going to be a penalty, though, on Alex Newhook. And the Lightning, after conceding the game's first goal, will get an opportunity to get it right back on the power play. So Newhook to the box.
Montreal penalty, number 15, 2-minute minor. Okay.
Lightning power play when we return to Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
Hey, so what did you want to talk about?
Well, I want to tell you about Wegovy.
Wegovy?
Yeah, Wegovy.
What about it?
On second thought, I might not be the right person to tell you.
Oh, you're not?
No, just ask your doctor about Wegovy. Yeah, ask her it by name.
Okay, so why did you bring me to this circus?
Oh, I'm really into lion tamers. You know,
With the chair and everything?
Ask your doctor for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Exclusions may apply.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
Are you moving, downsizing, or upsizing your home? Say goodbye to moving woes. Visit Depodium Mini Entrepot and store your items safely until your big day arrives. Try 4 weeks free. Limited units available. Details at Depodium.com.
Canadiens hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
9:36 to go in the second period, and the Canadiens have opened up the goal scoring thanks to Zach Bolduc. But John, Lightning have a chance on their third power play of the night to get it right back.
Yeah, it's a huge kill because there wasn't anything going on at 5-on-5 for either team. And you saw Tampa throwing pucks from just about anywhere, and then Bolduc goes down, and he basically scores without really shooting the puck. And within seconds, they're in the penalty box. So this is a huge kill to make sure the momentum stays in their favor.
Battle off the face-off, controlled by Tampa Bay. Hagel near side. Back to Radish. Far wing Kucherov. Through the middle. Radish one-timer, and he blows that one just high of the net. Now controlled by Carrier through the middle. Suzuki just missed the puck. He would have had a breakaway from center ice. Kucherov off the Braden point. Now Hagel. Kucherov through the middle, off on the far wing. Lightning get it set again. Here's Gensel. Kucherov, low shot, stopped by Dobish. Kucherov swings it back for Gensel. Back to Kucherov. Off to Gensel. Waits, tries a shot. Good block by Suzuki, and it's fired down ice by Mike Matheson. 1:03 left to kill. Braden Point scrambles to center. Off to Hagel. Through the middle. Gensel with a shot. He put it right off the crossbar, and it goes out of play.
Yeah, Tampa right there really broke down the blue line stand, as we call it on the PK, because as you kick it out to one particular side in a 3-1 PK formation, the backside D will join. But what they did was they quickly transitioned that puck inside dots, and Gensel puts it right off the crossbar.
Lightning are going to keep that unit out there. As Point will take the face-off. Well, no, he's not. He's going to be waved out. So it'll be Philip Deneau versus Jake Gensel. And Deneau snaps it back. Carrier on it with Matheson. Lightning in tenaciously on the forecheck, with the Habs able to force it out down the ice. Did it hit someone on the bench? Looks like it did. And they're going to have the face-off come back in the Habs zone. As now Anderson pushes over to Nikita Kucherov. And are they taking bodies here to the box?
Well, you see, Anderson's trying to stir the pot here a little bit, and why not, right? But the thing they've got to figure out is, did someone at Tampa's bench reach out to touch that?
And they're going to bring the face-off back outside the zone. That's a win for Montreal. No one's going to the box. So it'll be Braden Point versus Philip Deneau. Controlled by the Tampa Bay Lightning. 36 seconds in their 5-on-4. Here's Hagel over the blue line. Cross ice. Kucherov. Far wing with Gensel. Gensel down low. Back to Kucherov into the slot. Gensel off the deflection from Anderson to the line. Held in by Kucherov. Kucherov for Point in front. He slides that just wide. Hagel behind the net. Right back to Radish. Point near side. Radish up high. 5 seconds to go. Down low, Gensel steps out in front, and that's stopped by Dobish. One extra whack. That's going to draw a big crowd, and Dobish didn't like that at all.
And he's going to get a penalty for it, too.
And the power play is over for Tampa Bay. And Habs penalty kill is presented by Popeyes Quebec.
Tampa penalty, number 59, 2-minute minor, slashing.
And now the Habs are going to get a power play right back, presented by Ford of Canada, official partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
And this is where the top players of Tampa are getting really, really frustrated. We've seen more not get called on those whacks, but just the fact that certain extracurricular activities after the whistle have been transpiring, the referees want to stop it right here, and they're going to call Gensel for that slash. But you can tell guys like Kucherov are just slinging pucks at the net. They're just not making very confident plays. They've had a couple good looks, but then after that, it's almost just throw anything at the kitchen sink at the net.
Kucherov is still half on the ice here, John, at the Lightning bench door. He's finally going to have a seat on the bench. So Habs are going to go 5-on-4 here. They are 0 for 3 thus far tonight, as are the Lightning after that last man advantage. 7:36 to go in the second period. Canadians up 1-0. Lightning off the draw, win it back, and it's hammered down the ice by Brandon Hagel. Settled down by Dobish behind the net. They'll leave it for Lane Hudson. There's Caulfield to center. Drops it off. Suzuki with it now. Puts the dish off to Demidov. He's under pressure, and Tampa trying to get it out. Suzuki, great effort to hold it in. Near side board, settled down by Montreal. Now Slavkovsky, bothered by McDonough. To the line, Hudson. Far side, Caulfield back in front. Slavkovsky trying to move it in front again on the blue paint. But it's handled by McDonough. And he will clear it down the ice. Habs quickly to center again. Now here's Demidov right side. Down low, Suzuki in front. Backhand try. Pot stop made by Vasilevsky. And he's got the puck underneath, as he'll get the whistle with 1:07 left in the Habs 5-on-4.
And a lot of this chaos happens, not right here at the whistle, but prior was the fact that Tampa had 3 opportunities to clear it, overhandle the puck, Chernak, McDonough. Then when McDonough gets it to all kinds of time to send that puck 200 feet, he barely gets it to the far blue line, and that makes it impossible to get a clean change for all 4 PK players. Montreal just transitions up ice and creates a quick strike.
Face-off blocker side on Vasilevsky. It's won by Montreal. Suzuki. Far side wing. Stick handles in the corner now. Out in front, they score! Caulfield! Quintep in front. And for the first time in this series, somebody's got a 2-goal lead.
And again, it looks like their power play is just making a ton of instinctual reads. And, people, it drives them nuts sometimes to see Caulfield play the goal line, but sneaky Caulfield, he's not on the goal line, he's below the goal line. And that gives them all the opportunity to just sneak into goal mouth, box out J.J. Moser's arms, turns his backside, and then Suzuki just slings it east-west to that far post for a tap-in.
Well, it's not a 5-on-5 goal, John, but I don't think anybody's going to complain about Cole Caulfield scoring his first of the playoffs to put Montreal in front 2-0.
Son premier des séries éliminatoires, compté par le numéro 13. Canadiens goal is first of the playoffs, scored by number 13, Cole Caulfield.
Habs into their own zone. We got a whistle here, and in the meantime, during that announcement, John, Corey Perry had something happen to him along the end boards.
He went in for a hit with Struble, and as he was tumbling down, Struble's stick went right across his face.
And now we got a scrum along the near side here in the Habs zone. Perry's getting attention on the bench. It looks like he's going to go down the tunnel here.
Oh, no, I don't know. I really don't know how they missed this. I really don't.
Now Jack Guy wants a piece of somebody.
Oh, ball trick right. Nope.
Near side Doc.
A lot
and
of almost.
Gergenson's wrestling. We saw a lot of this in games 1 and 2. A lot of almosts, as you put it, John. And Perry, towel to his face, is going to go down the tunnel. So this finally gets broken up. Although Gergensen and Doc are still, there's nobody in sight to break them up. And finally, a linesman's going to get in between the two. .6:12 to go in this second period. We're getting playoff hockey now in Montreal. Habs up 2-0. Caulfield's first of the postseason from Suzuki, and Lane Hudson at 13:29 on the power play.
John Cooper just ripping into the referees.
So the referees are having a conference right now in front of the scorers table. But I believe this is pertaining to the scrums that we saw and not so much the high stick on Perry.
I would assume so, but the Corey Perry one's really bad. We have that delayed screen here in the booth, and as you're describing where the play's at, I'm able to see it, and that stick goes right across his face, right above the eye. I don't believe it was intentional by any means, but so it looks like they're calling coincidentals, and they're explaining that to Mike Matheson.
Wes McCauley and Brandon Blandina, the referees tonight. As now Gensel's going to come over and get an explanation on the Tampa side. They are, of course, without their captain, John, Victor Hedman, who's not played a game in this series. Skated again this morning. As Gergensen and Paul are going to the box for Tampa, it's going to be Jack-Eye and Doc in there for Montreal.
Tampa's going to have to find another gear. Montreal's got all the momentum. I know it's crazy to say at 14-12, but they're up 2-0. They've scored one on power play. They've scored one 5-on-5. Not a pretty one, kind of an ugly one, but just a hard-working type of goal from Bolduc. And though the grade A chances aren't numerous for either side, Montreal has taken over here in this period. And with this crowd of 21,000, it's that sixth man that they need, and they're just building off it.
Face off in the neutral zone. Dominic James versus Suzuki, and it's a win for Montreal. Slavkovsky jams it in. Radish takes a hard hit for Nick Suzuki. And that's going to draw a whistle.
And they're looking for a delay game.
Referees and linesmen are congregating. And I think we're going to have it.
Yep. 77.
Delay game it is. Darren Radish going off. And with 6:02 to go in this second period, this place will explode if the Habs can make it 3-zip off another power play goal.
We talked about it in the pregame. We talked about it in between the first and second. It was the forecheck. And what do? They've got all the momentum going in their way. They get the puck in deep, and it's the captain. Lays a hit, forcing them to take a penalty.
Habs on the power play when the face-off. Slavkovsky across for Caulfield. Fan on the shot. Power play is presented by Florida Canada, official partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Far corner. Caulfield drives it down low behind the Lightning net. All the way around to the line, and Hudson couldn't hold it in. Here goes Hagel sprinting out to center. Solo mission into the Montreal zone. He's bumped off the puck by Nick Suzuki. Now Hudson down the left side into Lightning territory. Left wing, Hudson down to Suzuki below the goal line. Back up for Lane Hudson. Suzuki again on the wing. Hudson, one-time shot, missed in front as it almost bounced back on Vasilevsky. Settled though by Hudson to the line, and his shot is directed but wide. As the Lightning able to clear it out and into the Montreal zone. Habs looking dangerous again on the power play. 51 seconds left in it. Slavkovsky tried to speed in far side, taken away to center by Yanni Gourde. And the Lightning will play keep away. As Gensel at center just gives it right to Jacques Bolduc. And here he goes over the Lightning blue line. Taken away though. Now Gensel racing through center. New hook and hot pursuit. Here's Gensel. Tried the shot. Fanned on it. Stays with it. Carries around the Montreal net. Then he'll just throw it to center for a waiting Eric Chernak. 17 seconds left in the minor to Darren Radish. As the puck rolls in behind the Montreal net. Taken by Mike Matheson. That's all for the power play. Habs will get one here, but they are still up 2-0 in this game. 1 for 5 on the man advantage. 3:55 left in play. Period number 2. Here's Carrier with a shot. Near side miss. Kucherov drags it to center for Brandon Hagel. Hands it off to Kucherov. Far side makes a move. Turns it back up high for Emil Lilleberg. Off to Kucherov again. Leaves it in the slot for Crozier. Long shot. That's an easy save for Dovish. Sees it the whole way, and there's no rebound. .330 remains in the second period of play. 2-0 the score for Montreal. We're back in a moment on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
The Montreal Canadiens Fan Jam, presented by Lacache, comes to life for the playoffs. Be there for the biggest outdoor party in the city, featuring tattoos, a barber, food, drinks, and more. Rain or shine, join us at the Canadiens Plaza next to the Bell Center before home games only. Free admission, but first come, first served. Experience the playoff frenzy with the most passionate fans. Get all the details at playoffs.canadiens.com.
Bell Pure Fiber Internet? It's fast, like really fast. And the offer? It's good, like really good.
Switch to Bell Pure Fiber, Canada's fastest internet, awarded by Ookla. Get 500 for $75 a month with autopay credit.
Fast internet? Long ad, but so worth it.
Visit bell.ca for more details and to check availability. Bell, connection is everything.
Be on the sunny side of the street at the Sir Winston Churchill Pub and Winnie's Restaurant and Bar, your spring fever headquarters in the city. Soak up the vibe with refreshing drinks, delicious bites, and great company all season long. 1459 Crescent.
Abrisvo is an RSV vaccine. 60 or over? Talk to your healthcare provider about Pfizer's Abrisvo. Visit abrisvo.ca.
Canadiens Hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
Welcome back in the Bell Center. 2-zip, Habs lead, 3:30 left in the second. Good to have you on hand here. Myself, Victor Finley, and John going to the booth. Good to see some of our old friends tonight too, John. And Chris Nyland and Sergio Momesso, both taken in Game 4 in Montreal.
Yeah, both have won cups, both are winners, Knuckles, both Knuckles. This is his hometown now, right? He makes his home here and very involved, but it's always great to see the alum. I would just wish that we'd see some vintage clips. You see them in the stands, some vintage clips of them fighting or lifting up a cup.
Canadians clear it to center. There's Radish backtracking for Tampa Bay as Bjorkstrand got run over by Evans. Lightning trying to come back in on the near side. Puck pops out to center for Bjorkstrand. Off to Radish. Swings it out to center. Deneau plays it right back in. Puck comes around for Anderson. All the way over for Evans. Now given away for Dominic James. He'll skate into the Montreal zone, right in with Lane Hudson. They both go down into the referee. As they battle for near side boards, puck comes back behind the Montreal net. Hudson directs it up the near side. Gonsalves down low, picked off by Hudson. And the Canadians flip it ahead all the way out through center. Anderson first to it. In the Lightning zone, he'll play it around the boards. Suzuki far side, tangled up with Nikita Kucherov. He'll get it to the line for Mike Matheson. Cross ice, Carrier, shot incoming, that's blocked in front. And that's a bit of a stinger on J.J. Moser. There's a big hit at center ice. And Slavkovsky got steamrolled. Lightning the other way. That was Maxwell Crozier who blew up Slavkovsky, who is groggily going back to the bench for Montreal. He's going right down the tunnel. Caulfield touched it. We got a whistle. And that was a monstrous hit from Crozier that for the time being has sent Slavkovsky out of this game. As Corey Perry returns to the ice here for Tampa Bay, he's going to skate from the tunnel right back to the bench.
Montreal, minor penalty slash.
And to make matters worse, the Habs are going to get penalized here.
John Cooper is livid. I mean, it's not too often you get a power play and you start ripping into the referees. Oh, he's asking there was a secondary penalty.
Seeing the replay at center, that's a clean hit for Crozier on Slavkovsky.
People are going to debate it. He left his feet.
Right.
Where his feet when he makes contact. No, his feet are down when he makes contact. It's after the impact, unfortunately for Slavkovsky.
That's monster hit.
Yeah, but John Cooper is livid because there was a little bit of retribution on Crozier as well. So Matheson penalty on Braden Point behind the net, and then Crozier was on the backside here on the blue line, and he got taken out, and John Cooper was asking for that 5-on-3.
Well, John, you talk about moments that could change the course of a game and perhaps a series.
One big hit, right? One big hit, but Tampa's got to do the job, and they've been a really frustrated group on the power play.
0 for 3 tonight are the Lightning. This Habs penalty kill is presented by Popeyes Quebec. Habs win the face-off and clear it right down the ice. So this power play will bleed over briefly into the start of the third period if the Lightning do not score. As here goes Hagel into the Montreal zone. Played around the boards. Far side, Hagel and Gooley are tied up behind the play. As it's Jake Evans brought down. That's going to even it up here. Tampa take a penalty, and we're going to go 4-on-4. As we got Carrier pushing with Kucherov far side. Now Radish and Gooley. And just like that, only 27 seconds on the power play for Tampa Bay, and we're going to be evened up again after Jake Evans was tripped up.
38 Tampa Bay minor slash.
Well, they're going to call it a slash on Hagel, but whatever you call it, it's 2 minutes. And we'll finish the second period 4-on-4.
And that's what happens when you're a frustrated group on the power play. You're always chasing after. And Montreal has set the tone here with their PK, and they've had a lot of possession in their own zone, and that's forcing Tampa Bay to run around. And that's not just an ill-advised, it's just a bad penalty by Brendan Hagel. He knows it. He didn't complain. He went straight to the box. But it does open up the play here at 4-on-4.
Face-off blocker side on Vasilevsky. One back by Tampa, but pickpocketed away from Radish by Alex Newhook. Now here's Lane Hudson. Guards down the left side. Tries to pull off of Anthony Cirelli. He'll pass it over to Newhook. Fished away by Tampa Bay. Out to center. Here goes Gensel. Drops off Radish. Back over to Gensel. Carries in behind the Habs net. And all the way up into the zone for J.J. Moser. Back in front, they score! Jake Gensel off the give and go with Moser. And it's a 4-on-4 goal for Tampa's first of the night to make it 2-1.
Gensel just wheels all the way from behind the net, above the tops, a little exchange with Moser, and Struble gets on the wrong side of Gensel, and also Newhook is too late to react to that crisscross in the man-to-man situation with Moser, and that allows that seam pass to connect.
First of the Stanley Cup playoffs for Jake Gensel, who has been a prolific goal scorer in his playoff career. That's his 42nd in 9 playoff appearances. As Moser's going to get the assist, and the Lightning are right back on the doorstep here, down by just 1. That'll be Gensel for Moser and Radish at 19:05, 4-on-4. Habs to center, Gooley with it. Over to Suzuki. Center with Caulfield. Down the far side, Caulfield hits the brakes. Through for Carrier, and that bounced on him. No shot. Settled down near side boards. Carrier's tied up with Ryan McDonough. Lightning trying to dig it free. And they do. Crozier slides it over to Braden Point. Escorted out to center, right by Caulfield. Point moving in, passes through the middle, bouncing around, taken off the goal line by Dobish. And that's how we finish our second period of play.
We talked about it in the first intermission about Dobish flopping a little bit, and he really lost his net on that situation with the speed from Braden Point, who tries to sling that to the net front from Crozier.
Well,
they're saying the whistle went before. This isn't over, I don't think.
Well, I think it should be because we got the coaches halfway across the ice.
The linesman was waving everybody off.
That's fine. We'll just put the 0.3 seconds on to the start of the third period. That's all for 40 tonight. The Montreal Canadiens were well in control of this game at one point, leading 2-0. Bolduc gets the game breaker, then Caulfield on the power play. Jake Gensel, 4-on-4, answers back, and all of a sudden, with Slavkovsky out of this game, we'll see if he returns for the third, and the Lightning to within one. It feels like this game has gotten new life going to period number 3. We'll take a break, and on the other side, it is the second intermission roundtable. Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
From the rink to the radio, Habs Lunch. Get all the information, highlights, and analysis with Campbell versus Gallo daily. No subscription fees. Just pure Habs talk the way you like it. Habs Lunch. Weekdays noon to 1.
Center's out in front. Oh, what a big stop from Sam Montembeault. He takes one away.
Also available on the free iHeartRadio app as a podcast.
Scoring big starts at Voisin. Through the playoffs, your 20-pack of Molson Canadian cans is at minimum price. Stop by Voisin before the puck drops. Voisin, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Are you looking for a damage insurance broker that specializes in commercial insurance? There is only one name, SOR Insurance. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, SOR Insurance brokers are the perfect advisors for you. With more than 65 years experience, SOR Insurance is proud of its team of brokers who stand out for their ability to select the best products for your business. Call 833-370-2704 or visit SOR.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
For the first time in a decade, the NHL returns to the great outdoors of Winnipeg.
The Heritage Classic.
October 25th, Mark Scheifele and the Winnipeg Jets face off against Nick Suzuki and the Montreal Canadiens. Outdoors at Princess Auto Stadium in the Tim Hortons NHL Heritage Classic.
Get that outdoor feel in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Don't miss your chance to experience hockey outdoors live.
Hockey under the sky.
Get your tickets now at NHL.com/Heritage Classic.
Delmar, logistics made simple, transforming intricate logistics challenges into effortless experiences for clients across the globe. Visit DelmarCargo.com to connect with a Delmar expert today. Delmar, logistics made simple.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
Spring's finally here, and Julie is making the most of it, going for long walks, escaping the city, and reconnecting with nature.
Hey, girls.
And reconnecting with her besties, one of whom is having a baby shower on the other side of the country.
Switch to Canada's best 5G network and never miss an important moment. Plus, get all the data you need at a great price. Visit a Bell store or bell.ca/rate plans. Bell, connection is everything.
Canadiens Hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
And Ryan McDonough's on it for Tampa, and he's erased as Josh Anderson might have got the worst of that, as he's still down on the ice for Montreal, and they're going to blow the whistle as a result. Point, direction to the line. There is a long shot from Darren Radish. That's stopped and now has a transition. Bolduc near side. Moving in on Radish. Scores! And somehow, some way, Zach Bolduc wills the puck into the net. And it's 1-0 Montreal. Face-off blocker side on Vasilevsky. It's won by Montreal. Suzuki, far side wing. Stick handles in the corner now. Out in front, they score! Caulfield! Quick tip in front, and for the first time in this series, somebody's got a 2-goal lead. They'll get it to the line for Mike Matheson. Cross ice, Carrier, shot incoming, that's blocked in front. And that's a bit of a stinger on J.J. Moser. There's a big hit at center ice. Hey, Slavkovsky got steamrolled. Lightning the other way. There he's in behind the Habs net. And all the way up into the zone for J.J. Moser. Back in front, they score. Jake Gensel off the give and go with Moser. And it's a 4-on-4 goal for Tampa's first of the night to make it 2-1. Escorted out to center, right by Caulfield. Point moving in, passes through the middle, bouncing around, taken off the goal line by Dobish. And that's how we finish our second period of play.
Welcome back to the Bell Center. It's Montreal Canadiens hockey here on TSN 690. The Canadiens lead the Tampa Bay Lightning 2-1 after 2 periods of play. Your second period scoring summary, 10:06. Zach Bolduc scores his first from Caden Gooley and Alexander Texier. 13:29, Cole Caulfield, power play goal. His first of the playoffs. Nick Suzuki and Lane Hudson get assists. And then at 19:06, Jake Gensel scores his first of the series. J.J. Moser and Darren Radish with the helpers. Mitch Gallo, and it's time for the second intermission roundtable. We have our play-by-play man Victor Finley with us. Peter Vrionis here at the Bell Center as well. Guys, let's start with one of the plays we heard in the highlight package there. What did the two of you see with the Uri Slavkovsky, the way he was hit there by Closure, and the way it may impact this game?
Boy, it kind of came out of nowhere there a little bit, right? And obviously Slavkovsky wasn't expecting that, but that's, at least from the replays we've seen, looks like a clean hit to me from Crozer. He just blew him up, right time, right place, and it's fortunately not the first time we've seen Slavkovsky get kind of tagged when he should probably be ready for a hit. That was more of a theme earlier in his career when he first broke into this league, but got to keep your head on a swivel in the playoffs here, and it really feels like, well, there was a big chain of reaction of events off of that hit as well, and now I'm incredibly curious for how the third period is going to start, Mitch, because if that hit doesn't happen, I think our intermission show and the vibe going into the third period is completely different.
Yeah, and it feels like the wind kind of got taken out of the sails there for the Montreal Canadiens. They let the foot off the gas after they were playing so well in the early portion of that second period. So I don't expect to see Uri Slavkovsky back tonight. And wrong place, wrong time. He had his head down, wasn't really looking for that hit, and thought the elbow may have been a little bit high, but then looking at it again, pretty clean as a whistle there. So see how the Canadiens respond, but in the early aftermath of that hit, not too great of a response from the Habs.
No, it really deflated them, like Victor said, and you know it's funny in a playoff game, in a playoff series, how one play, doesn't have to be a goal.
Yep.
A big hit like that can really turn the tide, and we'll see what happens here in the second period.
Well, you remember last year, Mitch, in Game 4, Washington and Montreal, it was the Tom Wilson hit on Carrier, and you know, the context for the game was different, but it sucked the energy out of the building.
No doubt.
And the Capitals come back later on that shift. Duhaime scores, and Washington go on to win that game. I mean, who knows what happens if the hit doesn't happen? But to me, that was a crucial moment, a turning point in that game for the Washington Capitals that obviously went a long way in helping them win the series. So we haven't seen a moment like that out of the Montreal Canadiens, but if this team's going to have a deep playoff run beyond this season as well, I think that's going to be something that they're going to have in their arsenal. How many teams? I know Ottawa lose yesterday, so it doesn't go their way, but the Tyler Kleven hit on Alexander Nikishin changed the course of that game, right? Ottawa didn't win, so I guess in the end it did work out in their favor, but I think you'll take that. You know, more times than not, Ottawa needed to change something in that series. It wasn't going right for them the way it was, and that was their attempt to change it. That was Tyler Kleven's best attempt to do it. and sometimes that's going to work out for you. So Tampa Bay needed something to happen tonight. They needed something to happen in that second period, and that's how they got it.
Now, as far as some of the other things and some of the positives for Montreal, Peter, I don't know how you feel. I think this has been the captain's best game so far of the series.
Yeah, absolutely. Had a couple of opportunities on the power plays, and then that near breakaway chance shorthanded as well. So there's been a couple of moments where Suzuki has separated himself tonight, and we were all talking about those three players, Slafkovsky, Caulfield, Suzuki. They're going to be the ones driving the bus, and they, I think, collectively may have had their best game thus far tonight. And same thing with Suzuki. That was such a huge momentum-shifting goal that they got on the power play to set up Cole Caulfield. Beautiful pass, first of all. But we were talking about making Tampa Bay pay. They're taking bad penalties. They're playing undisciplined hockey. You have to capitalize when the opportunity presents itself. And Suzuki was the one that sort of made that happen in a well-needed goal for Cole Caulfield as well, who gets on the board here in this series.
And Victor, how about Cole Caulfield, how sneaky he was on that one?
Yeah.
Starts on the goal line and then creeps out in front. Nobody picks him up. And what patience by Suzuki. Ooh, it felt like he had the puck on his stick for 30 seconds.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Mitch. I don't think we've seen the Habs run that play all year. At least certainly not to that level of success, right? So I'm wondering if that's something that those two guys have talked about on the bench or maybe in a video session with Marty St. Louis in the days leading up to this game. Because that was a new one for me. But I love that, right? Who's the master at that? Nikita Kucherov is the master of getting lost. Hasn't really done a great job of that, to be honest, yet this series. But my point is that the guys who are the best at being elusive, the best at being offensive consistently, point producers in this league, find ways to get lost in coverage. I think Caulfield's done a really good job of it actually overall this season. I don't think he scores 50 without having that element of his game, but we never seen a play like that. And I like that for Cole Caulfield. Net front is not exactly where you expect a little goal scorer to go. So you gotta be shifty, you gotta be creative about it. And he was there with Nick Suzuki. That was a great play by those two guys.
What great timing on that one, guys. Thanks as always.
Yep, you got it.
There is Victor Finley and Peter Briones, our play-by-play man, and our reporter extraordinaire who's going to be in on Campbell versus Gallo tomorrow. I'm Mitch Gallo here at the Bell Center. The Canadiens lead the Lightning 2-1 in game number 4. Coming up next, we'll get you caught up with the out-of-town scoreboard.
The Montreal Canadiens Fan Jam, presented by Lacache, comes to life for the playoffs. Be there for the biggest outdoor party in the city, featuring tattoos, a barber, food, drinks, and more. Rain or shine, join us at the Canadiens Plaza next to the Bell Center before home games only. Free admission, but first come, first served. Experience the playoff frenzy with the most passionate fans. Get all the details at playoffs.canadiens.com.
And here we go. Play resumes. Only seconds left in the third. Puck drops. Face-off won by Montreal in their own end. Back to the defenseman. Long stretch pass. Here's the breakaway. He shoots. He scores. He shoots. What a save. He shoots. Oh, he missed the shot.
When it comes to sports, there are so many possibilities, everything can change in a split second. You may know sports, but that doesn't change the odds. Mise au jeu, 18+.
Are you looking for an insurance broker, passionate and professional? With 65 years of experience, SO Insurance has proven to be totally dedicated to serving its clients. Present in 12 regions in Quebec, their brokers have one priority: to find you the best offer available to insure your home, car, and all other types of motorized vehicles. Call 833-370-2704 or visit SOR.ca to ask for a quote. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
And here we go. Play resumes. Only seconds left in the third. Puck drops. Face-off won by Montreal in their own end. Back to the defenseman. Long stretch pass. Here's the breakaway. He shoots. He scores. He shoots. What a save. He shoots. Oh, he missed the shot.
When it comes to sports, there are so many possibilities, everything can change in a split second. You may know sports, but that doesn't change the odds. Miso Jeu, 18 plus.
Get ready. Lasso Montreal is back. August 15 and 16 at Parc Jean-Drapeau with Thomas Rhett, Mumford & Sons, John Party, Old Dominion, and many more. Weekend tickets and single-day tickets on sale now at LassoMontreal.com. Presented by Bell in collaboration with Coors Original.
Canadiens hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
Here comes Krebs down the left side. Malestein joining Doan and Benson and scoring their first NHL playoff goals here this afternoon. Tage Thompson's got the puck and time. Sends it in front, scores! Alex Tuck gets in on it as Tage Thompson with the patience at the side of the net sends a beautiful touch pass to Alex Tuck. And it is an unconverted touchdown in Boston for the Sabres.
Welcome back to the Bell Center. Canadiens lead the Tampa Bay Lightning by a score of 2-1. Mitch Gow, let's get you caught up with the out-of-town scoreboard. Yeah, that game was a blowout. You heard the goal from Alex Tuck. He had a 2-point game. Buffalo defeats Boston by a score of 6-1 and now take a 3-1 series lead going back home to Buffalo. Your other final from earlier today, it was the Colorado Avalanche beating the LA Kings 5-1. That series is over, finishes in a sweep. Nathan McKinnon had 2 goals and an assist. Coming up next, we'll get you the third period between Tampa and Montreal. Habs lead by a score of 2-1. Victor Finley and John Goins with the call.
If Bell 5 TV is now streaming, is it still TV? Is it still TV if there's no TV box? If I can stream all my favorite channels and pause and record shows, that's TV, right?
A new era of 5 TV. It's streaming, but it's still TV.
Well, glad that's settled.
Bell. Connection is everything.
Voisin knows everything tastes better after a win. This playoff season, when the Habs take the win, the celebration continues at Voisin. Swing by the following day for a free small Bleu Blanc Rouge slush. Voisin, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Details and conditions in store.
Hey, you know the difference between the Habs and a tire?
No. What?
There's none. They both have pressure.
Yeah, good point.
Point S, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Oh, whoa, what's that sound?
I don't know, it comes and goes.
You gotta fix that. We can barely hear the game.
Yeah, good point.
Point S, until June 30th, get $100 on a prepaid card when you buy 4 eligible Hankook tires. Details at points.ca.
I'm with a Montreal Habs fan. Heading into the next game, what are you hoping for?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's about winning battles, winning draws, and winning tickets.
Tickets?
Yeah, Desjardins has this contest to win tickets. You put your name in, give yourself a chance, and you live with the result, you know?
You heard it, Desjardins members. Enter the Take Your Shot contest for a chance to win 2 tickets to the next Habs home game. Contest details and entry at desjardins.com/Habs. Conditions apply.
Abrysvo is an RSV vaccine. 60 or over? Talk to your healthcare provider about Pfizer's Abrysvo. Visit abrysvo.ca.
Canadiens hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
Welcome back inside the Bell Center. Just 10 seconds away from puck drop at the start of period number 3 between the Habs and Lightning in Game 4. Victor Finley with John Goins along for the ride here. Period number 3. And who knows, John, what kind of start we are in for. One thing we do know for sure, Juraj Slavkovsky is back and he's going to take this opening faceoff for Montreal on the wing with Suzuki and Caulfield. It'll be Cirelli versus Suzuki right at center ice. We start this period 4-on-4, 5 seconds.
Until a power play. Right, so they're going to start 3 forwards and 1D.
Habs win the draw, moving from right to left, and this power play is presented by Florida Canada, official partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Hagel is in the box. Habs power play for 20 seconds. Here's Suzuki trying to sneak in over the line, broken up, and Cirelli throws it down the ice. Lane Hudson the other way. Now Now lifted in by Cole Caulfield. Slavkovsky goes after it with Chernak. Habs win the battle. Matheson up high for Hudson. Matheson far side with a wrister that's stopped by Vasilevsky. Out of the box is Hagel, and this puck also goes out of play. 19:20 just underway here in this third period. Habs up 2-1, and Slavkovsky will go back to the bench. John, we are perhaps a little bit surprised to see him back here, given the way he exited the ice in the second period.
He exited, and there was no slowing down at the bench and having a discussion with one of the athletic therapists there. It was straight to the locker room. They're still going to check on him from time to time because they have their protocols to follow, but really a guy like Slavkovsky or players have to really know their body, and they have to communicate clearly with the training staff.
False start on the face-off. We'll do it again. James versus Kapanen. Glove side on Andrei Vasilevsky. And it's won back by Tampa Bay, right to Moser. He'll play it ahead to center. Gonçalves picks it up. In Montreal territory, bounces around in front and into the feet of James. We got a whistle here for a high stick. Is it going to be a penalty for the high stick?
Yes. It's
it
on
is.
Kapanen on James on the back check.
91 Montreal's got a minor, a high stick.
Boy, we have had a lot of penalties in this game, John. Habs are 1 for 5. Lightning 0 for 4. They're about to get their 5th opportunity on the man advantage.
Yeah, and a decent amount of chintzy type of penalties, right? Not like
exactly playoff type, right?
Yeah, not like I had to save a goal or something where I'm going to go get my pound of flesh type of thing, but a lot of chintzy calls.
Face-off blocker side on Dobish. It's a face-off win for Evans. Around for Newhook. He'll play it all the way out down the ice. So quick clear here for the Habs on the penalty kill presented by Popeyes Quebec. Here's Point to center. Drops off for Kucherov. Over to Point. Lightning gets set up. Radish. Over to Gensel. Down low, Kucherov. Back to Gensel. Kucherov down low, tried a sharp angle shot, hit the outside of the net. Now Gensel. Kucherov. Over to Radish, far side. Gensel. Kucherov back and forth with Gensel. Up high at the line. Gensel to Kucherov. Out in front, they score! Brandon Hagel has another in this series for Tampa Bay as Kucherov sets him up on the doorstep to tie it at 2.
Yeah, and again, it's very similar to the Hagel power play goal he scored at the beginning of this series, where instead of being on the high flank, he rotates all the way to the goal mouth, and he boxes out the D. It looks like Carrier assumes that they're going to want to work this to the weak side flank to Radish, and he gets pulled away. He's on Hagel. You can see it here on the screen if you're watching at home. And then he flexes out, and then Matheson has to cover between Braden Point in the bumper spot and Hagel on the back door, and he puts him in a really tough spot. They got to know that they're not going to Radish from that spot as much as they think they are.
So what a series Hagel is having here. 5 goals. This one for Kucherov and Gensel at 1:39 of the third period to tie it at 2 goals apiece as the Habs are going to be whistled down offside. So Gensel's secondary assist, John, it's his 7th point of this series. 6 assists, 1 goal.
Unbelievable. And you look at him, and, you know, following the game as a fan, as a coach, and you watch him play in Pittsburgh, you watch him play here. He's not a guy that's going to pull you out of your seat. But, man, he can play with the best, he can keep up, and he produces year in and year out, especially in the playoffs.
He's had more goals than he has assists in his playoff career, but that's not the case here this series. As Montreal steered in behind the Tampa Bay net. Picked up by Chernak. So Lightning are 1 for 5, as are the Canadiens on the power play tonight. Chernak in the near corner. Lost his footing. As Texier tries to dig it loose. He does, and he'll throw it around for Lane Hudson. Up high, tries the shot in front. He wanted a tip on that, never got it. Near side Hudson under pressure. Lightning push it out to center ice. Girgensons moves it right past Gooley and in behind the Montreal net. Now Corey Perry in on the forecheck. With support from Nick Paul. Paul's got the puck, tried to deliver that in front. It's taken away by Jake Evans. 17-10 to go in the third. Tie game in Montreal. Caden Gooley up the far wall for Evans. To center and broken up by Tampa Bay. As Gonçalves, right wing, will shoot it in. Dovish out to play it, right over to Struble. Right side, Radish in from the line. He's tied up with Josh Anderson. Now back to the point. James can't get the shot off clean. It's taken by Gooley, thrown over to Struble. And the Canadiens look ahead to center ice. It'll be tipped in there by Josh Anderson, who goes back for a line change. James on it for Tampa Bay. He'll wheel ahead to center. Hands off to Moser. Yanni Gordon near side at the Montreal line. Bounced into half territory. In deep. Evans. Now Struble. Back around. Montreal get their first line out. Slavkovsky, Suzuki, and Caulfield. Here's Suzuki near side. Lightning zone, and his drop pass goes out to center for Arbor Jacki. Now Matheson. Snaps the pass into the Lightning zone. It's tipped, no icing. Ryan McDonough's on it. Steers it over to Chernak. Ushered ahead to center. One-touch pass for Anthony Cirelli, left side. Moves in on Matheson. He'll curl it behind the Hab net. Gensel tried to center that. It's cut off by Juraj Slavkovsky. He'll just whip it down the ice, and no icing as Crozer gets back to it. And Maxwell Crozer with a pass ahead to center for Kucherov. Fires off near side, and they're going to call this offside. It is Ivan Demidov was tied up with his man on the right wing. That was Braden Point.
Yeah, Demidov really went stride for stride with Braden Point, causing that offside, giving Kucherov absolutely nothing to pass to. Would have figured Kucherov might have gone with that place and chase kind of mentality, but they don't dump and chase, or they don't place and chase that often, near the bottom of the league in terms of that. And funny enough, they're near the top of the league when it comes to recovering dump-ins or in forecheck situations. So you got to wonder if Tampa sometimes it wouldn't benefit them more to place and chase.
Neutral zone. Here's Darren Radish. Works it in over the Montreal line. Pushed off the puck by Matheson. And the Canadiens clear it to center. Now they're trying to pick it off here in the Lightning zone, but Braden Point rushes it the other way over the line with Brandon Hagel. Left side, Hagel through the middle. Kucherov with a shot. That took a redirect off of Matheson and wide. And now here's Anderson to center for the Habs with Deneau. Sent back toward the net, steered away by Vasilevsky. Puck comes around left side for Mike Matheson. Now behind the Tampa net, Moser. Steered toward Brandon Hagel and then flown out through center ice. 14:20 left in this third period. Tie game at 2 goals apiece. Habs with it in their own zone. Here goes Alex Newhook to center. Gonna float that ahead. Wanted Demidov, and he's got him down low. Demidov center. That got away from Alex Newhook. Far side, Kapanen. Spins it off the boards for Demidov behind the net. Crozier all over him. Demidov trying to break free. Gets it to the line for Gooley. Right back behind the net it comes for Kapanen. Back to Gooley. Cross ice. Here's Lane Hudson. Right back over to Kapanen. Gooley up top. Pulls the trigger and a blocker save is made by Vasilevsky. Another try from Gooley. This one's blocked and Dominic James is able to poke it out to center ice. Good shift for the Habs as here goes Kucherov the other way. Moving in. Good stick by Lane Hudson. Broke that up. Fans love that as the Canadiens play it into the Lightning zone. There's a stiff hit on Slavkovsky in the far corner. That's from his friend Eric Chernak. Habs win the battle down low. Suzuki goes up top. Carrier's shot now. What's flown wide of the net? And Vasilevsky had trouble tracking that. Here's Suzuki with a try. That's blocked by McDonough. Habs played around to the far side. Carrier to Suzuki. Cross ice. Wanted Caulfield. That zings right by him. As McDonough runs into Carrier behind the net. Picked off by Tampa. There's a good hit by Suzuki on the forecheck. Habs keep it in. Caulfield through the middle. Blasted wide by Mike Matheson. That was a bomb at 97 miles an hour. Lightning alleviate the pressure and play it in. That's a pair of good shifts here from Montreal's top six. Now the Doc, Texier, Bolduc combo on the ice as they'll go in behind the Lightning net. Here's Bolduc on the forecheck. Lightning take it away. Up to center goes Yanni Gore. Gently in off the boards. Did he cross center? No, he did not. And it's going to be an icing call.
And we've seen what a costly icing or an avoidable icing could do right now with Montreal picking up all kinds of momentum. That first line picks up momentum not based purely on skill, but all on will and willingness to be physical and a little bit nasty, creating some space and creating secondary opportunities. But let's go back to that one-on-one Kucherov against Lane Hudson. It looked like Kucherov had Lane Hudson almost flat-footed, and elite stick by the young defenseman to pickpocket Nikita Kucherov.
Habs win the faceoff, but the pass intended for the blue line is cut off by Gensel. Lightning are going to get a line change in here. It's shot in by Gensel. Fans wanted too many men, but won't get that call. As the Canadiens skated ahead to center. Here's Struble. He's going to play it into the Lightning zone. Lilleberg. Round to the near side. Tipped all the way through center. Paul goes after it. Jack Eye in front of him. Directed around to the far corner. Have territory. Corey Perry down low. Can't handle it. Max Crozier. Back down low to Perry. Now Nick Paul is on it. Skated up high. And then passes off to nobody on the far wing. As Zach Bolduc takes it away, then gives it right to Perry. Back to the line. Here's Lilleberg. Crozier, near side, got the shot through. It's turned away by Dobish. Now Crozier off into the slot for Gergensen. So he'll just chip that into the corner. Now Paul collides with Bolduc. Lightning to the point. Gergensen's wrister sails that one wide. Boomerangs right back to him. Now Crozier. Down low to Lilleberg. Behind the net, Perry. Gergensen's going to change here as Perry just flings it to the net. That's off the boot of Bolduc, and he's able to toss it out to center ice. Habs are going to get a line change. So are the Lightning as they try and spring it down the far side for Bjorkstrand. He couldn't take the pass, but he's able to track it down. Lightning gets set up in the offensive zone. Right side, Chernak. Down low to Bjorkstrand. That gets away from him, and now Lane Hudson wants to spark the breakout. Here's Texier at center. He hit the brakes. Now pressured by Bjorkstrand. Swatted out of the air by Philip Deneau, and this will be picked up by Gates Gonsalves. Halfway through this third period, Tampa Bay have tied the game at 2. Lane Hudson moves it around the far boards all the way out to center. So the Habs get a couple good shifts in the offensive zone, and then the Lightning come right back with a long one of their own. As Gonsalves at center ice. Has it knocked away. And Mike Matheson will wait for a line change as the Suzuki line is fully on the ice. Slavkovsky far side. Bobbled it at the line. Here goes Gensel. Right back in for Tampa Bay. Tries to go to the net. Matheson got his stick up high on him. And that's going to be called 2 minutes at least for high sticking. And it's another Tampa Bay man advantage.
Montreal penalty, number 8.
So Mike Matheson goes off, 2 minutes, and the Lightning to the power play in a 2-2 tie when we return to Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
All rights to this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Montreal Canadiens is expressly prohibited.
Abrisvo is an RSV vaccine. 60 or over? Talk to your healthcare provider about Pfizer's Abrisvo. Visit abrisvo.ca.
Here, we like to keep it fresh because Tim's coffee is brewed fresh every 20 minutes. Whether you're on the go or at your desk, it's always the perfect time for Canada's favorite coffee, made with 100% premium Arabica beans. It's time for fresh. It's time for Tim's.
Hey, you know the difference between the Habs and a tire?
No, what?
There's none. They both have pressure.
Yeah, good point.
Point S, proud partner of the Montreal Canadiens.
Oh, whoa, what's that sound?
I don't know. It comes and goes.
You gotta fix that. We can barely hear the game.
Yeah, good point.
Point S, until June 30th, get $100 on a prepaid card when you buy 4 eligible Hankook tires. Details at points.ca.
This is Montreal Canadiens hockey on your home of the Habs, TSN 690.
9:16 to go in the third, 2-2 tie. Habs with a big PK here, presented by Popeyes Quebec. And somehow, John, feels like we've had a lot going on in this period, but the shots are only 2-1 in favor of Montreal.
It's wild. We saw this in the second period as well. It started off really, really slow in terms of shots for and against. Now on Tampa Bay power play, now they've given so many different looks. And you can tell that Tampa now on that last power play, and maybe their last two, they started feeling it a little bit more. This first face-off can play a major factor at taking away some of that time off the clock for Tampa to create in the ozone.
Lightning are 1 for 5 on the power play tonight. And they win the draw. Right back to Radish. Near side, Kucherov with a shot deflected just wide by Gensel. And the Habs clear it out down the ice. That did not miss by much.
No, that was a set play, quick strike with Gensel driving that back post.
Point to center, off to Kucherov. Knocked away by Gooley. Good hit on point. Loose puck behind the Montreal net. Hammered by Newhook, and just enough to get past Darren Radish. Out at center, Hagel. Radish and Evans were tied up. Here goes Hagel over the line. Off to Kucherov through the middle. There's a back-checking Evans to steal it away. Out at center, Evans. Far side to the net. That's just thrown away by Vasilevsky to the near boards as Kucherov goes hard into the boards. He was knocked over by Evans, and he's doubled over in pain. And Jake Evans is going to be penalized for this.
That's the same penalty Yanni Gourde got in the first, but not that far away from the boards to an unsuspecting player who doesn't have the puck on his stick. I wonder if they're going to call a major and then look to review this.
Kucherov flexing out his left leg here. Still down on all fours. And this is a nightmare scenario if you're Tampa Bay. Well, even though they do get a 5-on-3, the last thing they want to see is Kucherov out of commission. We're going to get a call here.
There's a major penalty on the play. The play will be under review.
And it is going to be a major penalty as they have another look at it. And Kucherov back to his feet, still doubled over. But the good news for Tampa, John, is that he's going to the bench and not to the tunnel.
So again, if the major sticks especially, Kucherov's not going to be able to start this power play. He goes in violently.
I don't think they're going to call this a 5, though, John. Here's the official decision from center ice.
That's a 2-minute minor for cross-checking.
2 minutes for cross-checking on Evans, so it's a 5-on-3 for Tampa Bay for 1:11.
Cooper's not happy whatsoever. Slow motion doesn't do this any justice, this type of play. I know the fans aren't happy, but at full speed, you don't expect to get... He goes in hard. So Corey Perry's going to start. That kind of makes sense. They need to get that net front presence. Cirelli's on for the draw as well.
So Lightning 5-on-3. Kucherov remains on the bench. Tampa's going to go with Radish, Gensel, Point, Cirelli, and Corey Perry, and they win the face-off. Radish over to Gensel. Right side, Gensel. Down to Cirelli, fan on the pass. Hobbs able to get it out to center. And Cirelli in the spot that Kucherov would normally occupy, as Kucherov's on the ice now for Tampa Bay. Lightning gets set up. Kucherov. Over to Radish. One-time drive, stopped by Domish. Side of the net looking for it, and they blow it down. Although Domish didn't have it. It will be a face-off in the Montreal zone with 37 seconds to go on the 5-on-3.
Cirelli's going to come out again for the draw because he won that last one so easily. And again, no surprise that Perry was in net front.
And it's a face-off win for Cirelli. Right back to Radish. Right side, Kucherov. Kucherov stick handles over to Radish. Suzuki got a stick on it. Goes right back to Kucherov. Off to Gensel, and Goulet got a piece of that. In behind the Montreal net. Point. Tracks it down far side. Gave it away to Nick Suzuki. And he's just going to toss it out down the ice. Just 9 seconds to go in the 5-on-3. Racing down the far side. Point into the attacking zone. Drops it off. Here's Kucherov. 5-on-4 it is. Now Gensel out in front. That's broken up. Bouncing around off the pad of Domish. Matheson back on the kill here for Montreal. Still 38 seconds now in the 5-on-4. Point. Far side. Slotted down the ice by Philip Deneau. Radish drops it off for Corey Perry. Defers to Kucherov. Down low, Perry drives out in front of the net, and he goes right through Carrier, but can't get the shot away. Habs with numbers at center. Here's Matheson left side. Over and across for Philip Deneau. He couldn't corral the pass. And Tampa Bay fire it around. Josh Anderson all by himself takes a hit from Hagel. That's going to be it. Habs kill it off. Evans to the ice. 5-on-5 again with 6:20 to play. Here's Anderson far side. Devinov moves in with a shot that's stopped by Vasilevsky. Now side of the net, corralled by Yanni Gourde. Here's goalie with a big hit. Got a piece of Gonçalves. Montreal look to ride the momentum here. This big penalty kill is the Lightning are 1 for 7 of the game. James far side. Back to McDonough. Can't get it out. Here's Carrier. Rather check that. Hudson up top. Near side. Gooley centers. And no shot from Newhook. Lightning try and push it ahead to center. Gonçalves behind the net. Off to Ryan McDonough. And he'll fire it ahead. Off of Dominic James. He's dumped by Gooley. Habs reload. Lane Hudson looking ahead for Suzuki. Hit him off the back of his heel. Back into the Montreal zone. Hudson throws it to center. Suzuki looking over to Slavkovsky. Ends up in behind the Tampa Bay net. Vasilevsky has to hastily move it around. 5:05 to play. 2-2 tie. Chernak fires it in. Kucherov near side. Half zone. Back to Moser. Kucherov with a shot, and he scores! It's tipped in front by Brandon Hagel. Off a deflection, Tampa Bay have taken their first lead of the night with 4:53 to play.
And that's that funnel slingshot type of play where just Kucherov doesn't even look from the half wall, and he just spins and fires it, and it goes right off of Hagel and in.
So we saw Bolduc score on a bit of an odd bounce to start the goal scoring tonight. This one is a shot for Kucherov right off the chest of Brandon Hagel and in past Dobish. Nothing he could have done about that. So Brandon Hagel, who's got the hot hand, 2 tonight, 6 in the series from Kucherov at 15:05. 3-2 Tampa Bay. This was a 2-0 Montreal lead. The Lightning will come back with 3 unanswered. J.T. Moser's going to get a secondary assist on the goal. And the Canadiens are going to have to find a way to tie it here in the final 5 minutes. As this puck is fired out off the draw in the Montreal zone. That will send us to a break. Tampa Bay with a fortunate bounce off of Brandon Hagel. He's got both goals for them in this third period. 3-2 Tampa lead in Game 4 on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
For the first time in a decade, the NHL returns to the great outdoors of Winnipeg.
The Heritage Classic.
October 25th, Mark Scheifele and the Winnipeg Jets face off against Nick Suzuki and the Montreal Canadiens. Outdoors at Princess Auto Stadium in the Tim Hortons NHL Heritage Classic.
Get that outdoor feel in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Don't miss your chance to experience hockey outdoors live.
Hockey under the sky.
Get your tickets now at NHL.com/Heritage Classic.
If Bell 5 TV is now streaming, is it still TV? Is it still TV if there's no TV box? If I can stream all my favorite channels and pause and record shows, that's TV, right?
A new era of 5 TV. It's streaming, but it's still TV.
Well, glad that's settled.
Bell. Connection is everything.
Hey, so what did you want to talk about?
Well, I want to tell you about Wegovy.
Wegovy?
Yeah, Wegovy.
What about it?
On second thought, I might not be the right person to tell you.
Oh, you're not?
No, just ask your doctor about Wegovy. Yeah, ask for it by name.
Okay, so why did you bring me to the circus?
Oh, I'm really into lion tamers. You know, with the chair and everything.
Ask your doctor for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Exclusions may apply.
Canadiens Hockey is presented by SOR Insurance. You deserve the best broker there is. SOR Insurance, official damage insurance partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Enjoy the game.
We get a reset here with 4:42 to go in the third. Habs trailing for the first time all night. And they have come back so many times in the regular season. They've got to find a way to get it done now in Game 4 to take a 3-1 series lead.
And for all the matchups that we've seen over the last, 2 and a bit periods, we figure both benches are going to be really, really short here for the coaches.
Face-off win for Montreal off a neutral zone draw. Played it off the boards to the Lightning zone. Anderson after it. Near side over to Philip Deneau. Played off the boards and around for Carrier. Right back around it goes to a waiting Mike Matheson at the blue line. Down for Jake Evans. And he gets upended by Braden Point. Puck goes to center. There's Hagel. He flattens Carrier, and then Deneau runs right through Hagel. Whistle staying in the pockets here, it looks like. As Jake Evans will toss it in from center ice. James down low, gave it away to Anderson. Behind Vasilevsky's net, it comes loose for Yanni Gourde. Off the glass and out to center. Gooley over to Matheson. Habs are changing. Suzuki's line steps on the ice with 3:42 to play. 3-2 Lightning lead. Slavkovsky near side. Through the middle. Off on the far wing. Here's Lane Hudson. Habs get set up. Slavkovsky bouncing puck. Pushes it over and Suzuki can't settle it. He was tied up with Chernak. Now Tampa Bay out to center ice. Jake Gensel. Near side in on Gooley. All the way behind the Montreal net now. Puck comes loose for Lane Hudson. Hands off to Gooley. Thrown ahead to center. Here's Cole Caulfield over the line with Nick Suzuki. High in the zone. Suzuki cross ice. Misfired on the pass for Carrier. Off the boards. It is handled now by Carrier, but he's brought down to the ice by Braden Point. Now racing down the far side. Here's Hagel with a shot. His stick explodes in two. Suzuki snaps it over to Carrier. Over the Tampa Bay blue line. Carrier into the corner. This is taken away by Tampa. Now Matheson with a good hit on Kucherov. Trying to hold it in. Off the boards. We get a whistle here. And there's going to be another penalty, John. It's going to be on the Tampa Bay Lightning. And Kucherov is going off again. And Kucherov is not thrilled with this.
That's when we talk about chintzy calls. That would be the definition of a chintzy call and maybe a bit of a makeup call.
We're going to break here. A big power play for Montreal to try and tie it. Coming up next on Habs Hockey on TSN 690.
If Bell 5 TV is now streaming, is it still TV? Is it still TV if there's no TV box? If I can stream all my favorite channels and pause and record shows, that's TV, right?
A new era of 5 TV. It's streaming, but it's still TV.
Well, glad that's settled.
Bell. Connection is everything.
Hey, so what did you want to talk about?
Well, I want to tell you about Wegovy.
Wegovy?
Yeah, Wegovy.
What about it?
On second thought, I might not be the right person to tell you.
Oh, you're not?
No, just ask your doctor about Wegovy. Yeah, ask for it by name.
Okay, so why did you bring me to this circus?
Oh, I'm really into lion tamers. You know, with the chair and everything.
Ask your doctor for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Exclusions may apply.
When you choose the STM to get to an event, you aren't just riding public transit. You're riding a wave of collective energy with fans just like you all the way to the big event. Heading to the Bell Center? No need to put your whole day on ice. With public transit, you won't have to worry about traffic or parking. A trip to Lucien Lallier or Bonaventure Station gets you right to the heart of the action. Now that's what we call putting it on the tape. With the STM, birds of a feather ride together.
The home of your Montreal Canadiens. TSN 690.
Back underway. Habs on the power play. They win the faceoff, trying to tie it. Here's Hudson up top. Near side, Caulfield. Dobish halfway back to the bench. The Habs get it set. Hudson, far side. Davidoff with a drive. That's off a stick and out of play. Deflected by Cirelli. Habs power play is presented by Florida Canada, official partner of the Montreal Canadiens. Scores 3-2 Tampa Bay. 1:44 to go on the minor to Kucherov. 2:16 left in regulation.
So as Montreal works it to their left, which is Loretta Vasilevsky, it goes low to high, and they're feeding Davidoff right away. So Cirelli flexes out quickly. I wonder if they fake that to get Cirelli to fight, and that'll open up Slavkovsky and or the bumper for a quick strike.
Now Cirelli broke his stick on the face-off, so he's going to go back and get another one, or before the face-off was taken.
That was the stick. It helped block the last shot, so makes sense.
In on Nick Suzuki. And it's controlled by Lane Hudson off the draw. Habs down low. Slavkovsky out in front, bounces around, and it's covered up by Vasilevsky in the blue paint.
These 50-50 battles that Montreal's doing a really good job of winning on the face-offs, right? They're not winning them necessarily clean, but pucks that are going to the outer hash mark off the puck drop, and they're getting in there, and they're in the battle, and they're winning those 50-50. It's going to give them more opportunities to create on this power play.
Suzuki 12 for 18 on face-offs tonight. He has been sharp in the face-off circle. Tied up off of this one, but it's going to be a win for Montreal, and Hudson can't hold it in. That's going to be called offside. And the faceoff will come out in the neutral zone with 90 seconds to go, and the minor penalty to Nikita Kucherov.
Yeah, and he's been going up against Cirelli on these last 3 faceoffs, who's at 44%. So the matchup favors Montreal, but unfortunately they weren't able to keep this puck in zone. 1:30 left on the power play, faceoff outside.
Suzuki and Cirelli again. And it's another win for Nick Suzuki. Canadians at center. Hudson wrists it in. Bounces around past Vasilevsky. Habs will get it set up. Hudson steers it near side for Suzuki. Back to Hudson at the line. Still 5-on-4. Here goes Dobis to the bench. 6-on-5. Texier onto the ice. Suzuki near side. Down low to Caulfield. Back to Suzuki up top. Left side now Suzuki for Lane Hudson. Back to Suzuki. Down low Caulfield. Suzuki with it. Tries the shot. That's caught by Vasilevsky through traffic. 51 seconds to go in this 5-on-4.
And that's why Vasilevsky is one of the best and has been for quite some time. I mean, he's looking to his right over his blocker side, and he ends up reaching to the left, which is around the screen from Slafkovsky, and he makes the save look so easy. Right now it looks like Montreal's overthinking. They've got a player on either post, and they got Slafkovsky screening Vasilevsky. They're going to use the iPad. They're going to use the iPad on the timeout instead of a whiteboard. Makes a ton of sense that they do this. So they're going to review maybe one of this last sequence to open up that next quick strike instead of drawing it up.
1:23 to go in the game. 51 seconds in the power play, which is effectively now a 6-on-4 with Dobis on the bench. Marty St. Louis uses his timeout. Try and draw something up for this Montreal Canadiens team. Was tied for first in the NHL with 26 comeback wins this season. Tied with the Anaheim Ducks. They had 10 in the third period alone. They have not had one yet in this Stanley Cup playoffs. They haven't needed one yet. It's been a razor-thin series. We will line up for the most important face-off of the night, blocker side on Andrei Vasilevsky. Cirelli versus Deneau. Quick drop, and it's controlled by Montreal. Hudson up high. Over to Suzuki near side. Down to Caulfield. Back to Suzuki. Stick handles. Throws it up top for Hudson. Suzuki tries the shot, and he drifted that one wide of the net. Now pulled in at the line by Lane Hudson. Hudson, Demidov fires. That's blocked off his stick. It hit McDonough and wide. Habs stay with it. Another try from Hudson. Blocked by Cirelli out to center. Hagel for the hat trick, and he skipped it just wide. 10 seconds in the power play. 40 in the game. Demidov drops off. Here goes Hudson moving in. Lightning zone behind the net. 6-on-5. Here's Slafkovsky up top. Near side, Suzuki with a try. That's blocked by Moser. And the puck is a mile high out of play. And it's going to be back to full strength for Tampa Bay off this face-up with 27.4 seconds remaining in the game.
No matter who you're cheering for in this game, this is the stuff for coaches that you just love. Tampa's players are all up, banging their sticks. The amount of block shots, the sacrifice it takes to win a one-goal game, killing a penalty late in this game. Moser just selling out the previous block shot by Cirelli.
Battle off the face-off, won by Montreal. Hudson at the point. Passes over, shot from Demidov is blocked in front again. Couldn't get it through Hagel. Far side battle. Habs again to the line. Shot from Hudson, blocked by Chernak. Looking for the loose puck. Drifts over to the near side. Kucherov gets it out to center ice. And it's tracked down by Hudson. 5 seconds to go. Looks through the middle. Broken up by Chernak. And the Tampa Bay Lightning have pulled off the come from behind victory to tie this series once again, this time at 2-2. with a 3-2 win in Game 4.
What a wild, wild game. Fans aren't happy, but this was incredible hockey. Physicality, skill, power plays, block shots, you name it. If you followed this game from beginning to end, you were not cheated as a hockey fan, that's for sure.
Time now for the play of the game, brought to you by Tim Hortons, official partner of the Montreal Canadiens. 5:05 to play, 2-2 tie. Chernak fires it in. Kucherov near side. Half zone, back to Moser. Kucherov with a shot, and he scores! It's tipped in front by Brandon Hagel. Off a deflection, Tampa Bay have taken their first lead of the night with 4:53 to play. Time now for the 3 stars of the game. Your third star, Caden Gooley.
Deuxième étoile, the second star, Jake Gunsel. Et la première étoile, the first star, Brandon Hagel.
All right, your Molson Export, 3 stars of the game. Gooley, third star for the Habs, and Gensel, second star for Tampa Bay with a goal and an assist, and Hagel with a pair of goals tonight is star number 1.